Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Brighter Shores live stream day 133. Hey, no technical difficulties this time, doesn't look like it. Gosh, I had like a billion different ones yesterday, but it seems like everything's in order. Good. Okay, so today's game plan, I figured we might skill a little bit. Of course, still waiting on new content as is every day. Hopefully a new quest somewhat soon. Should be sometime this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll find out. We did a poll yesterday on if it would or wouldn't. I think it was 2/3, 1/3 by the end. Or 2/3 of people were like, yeah, hopefully they'll do a patch this week. And then 1/3 was like, yeah, this is definitely not going to happen. But today, game plan. Every single skill that is below 210. I want to go get one level. What does that mean? That means one woodcutting level, one forger level, one chef level, and one bone right level. That is the game plan. Given that we have a 200% meter right now, and of course our cooking contract is ready, let's go and just peek at our cooking contract, and then go and I guess we're going to Mines of Bitumen first. I'll be putting the knowledge probably into stonemason the whole time. We are still locked out of doing stonemason, unfortunately. We're about halfway there to be able to unlock the skill again, but for now we are still locked out of it, unfortunately. Main reason being is we need 233 before we can do the skill again. So we need 6 more levels, otherwise the skill basically doesn't exist, as I have no primary way of training it other than knowledge points right now, or the AFK activity. But at this point, it's actually better at this current level range to do other different AFK activities, like the alchemy one. Anyways, let's go see what we have for our contract. Not actually going to do any right now. We're just going to stack some up for later. Oh yeah, we got our daily thingy in like 4 hours too we need to go do. Which honestly, with everything we need to go do today, honestly, probably will be getting around to that in 4 hours. Also, what is this? A triple one? They never do this for us. A triple one? Nice. If only it was always that easy. Oh yeah, we don't need a side tab, do we? But, yeah, I guess we'll start with bone right then. Let's go bone right. And go from there. I'm not sure what order we'll do it in. Chef will kind of get done automatically. I assume Chef will kind of be the last one we probably go for, as we get a lot of free value just from the bounties. Like, just the bounties that we'll get during that time is already going to be, like, another 500,000 probably. And we only need 1 million. But let's go and, yeah, let's go do some manual bone right. Right now we'd be making, I believe, spears at whatever our highest level would end up being. It's not the best thing we could be doing for EXP, but it does give us a lot of product that we could use for eventual upgrades. I've been doing a lot of smithing here recently, so we have been slowly stockpiling some upgrades for later down the line. The main ones that we have in play right now, which I might as well show it real quick. Oh yeah, I made 3 of these just for the first time bonus, because I was using 3 of them that I could do during 17% potion. I was doing it for the first time bonus, and I got a 3-star out of it. So we got this ranged fire weapon for later if we want to use it at a given level range. Mid-range roll as well. So, yeah, I guess we got a new range weapon at some point. I could technically upgrade that for when we get to, like, the 880 enemy. I'm not going to bother doing that, I don't think, though. After we get infinite ammo from the skill tree system, I'll probably upgrade it then. Because there is an enemy, 2 enemies. No, 1 enemy. 2? 1. 2. There's 2 enemies in Mines of Bitumen that are weak to fire. And can be ranged infinitely, assuming we have infinite ammo. We'll have to see exactly how that ends up panning out once that does end up coming out, though. But, yeah, we should be able to go mess around with them pretty easily. Also, I'm not sure why the default there is 4. I'm not sure of a single situation where you would only use 4 for this. Because I'm making the smaller one right now. And that's not going to work if we only make 4. Let's see. Because, yeah, each one takes 3, so we would need 24 inventory. Yeah, that's weird. I guess it does it based on the bigger weapon. But the ratio that you get for the smaller one is generally going to be better unless you really want to speed through it. There's 2 reasons why you want to do this one, though. You get better XP per bone. But the other big reason, even though it does use slightly more suave logs, but that's fine. They're easy to get. But the weirdest thing about it is this is the better weapon. Like, this is, like, the weapon for Guardian. Like, the weapon. It actually has the easiest access to it, I feel like, of any class. As getting 3 bone spikes and 1 suave pole is so free compared to what you have to do for Hammer Mage and Cryonite. For Cryonite, you need 6 of that 1 ore, which is a little bit far from a bank. Like, actually getting 6 isn't that bad, but, you know, the bank distance is what makes it pretty bad, compared to this being 1 tile from a bank each. The Suave trees are 1 from a bank, and the Bone Spike are 1 from a bank. But gosh, do Stonemason have it bad. If you want the same hammer equivalent, like that big 2-hand hammer that they have, the Great Hammer or whatever it's called, this thing over here. The equivalents of that, you need Deathstone, you need, what was the other thing? You need Deathstone, you need, oh yeah, U-Pole. That's the other big issue, because U-pole goes really deep. It's the final thing you do for woodcutting. So you need like 490, 490 to do the highest tier one. Obviously lower for the other ones, but still, it's pretty high. I think it's like 310, 315 or something to make the tier 5 one. It's pretty high still. But that's our game plan for today. Get a level on everything. How much XP we're getting each? 8k? How many of these would we have to make then? We'd have to make about 100-ish of them then. How much material would that burn through if we did? I'm trying to see if that's worth doing right now, because I'm going to need this upgrade material later, so for whenever we get back to combat, it's already going to be pre-made. That's one of the other reasons for kind of training all these is when we go do like the 1,100, 1,200 combat grind, whatever we end up ultimately going for down the line later, I want to have pretty much every upgrade we need already done. There might be some situations where we're still going to have to build an item, of course, because we need a really, really specific level range. So we will always need at least one item to be crafted so that we can cover whatever the difference is within that level range. Oh yeah, I forgot to go use the 7%. No, what am I doing? How could I? No, it's not that big a deal though. Forgot to use the 7%. Also, I believe since we're doing it this way, I can make some amount of the other pole too, just to cash in a little bit better value. So probably should be. The easiest way to do this, I guess, is to reset our Suave pole first, since it has like an auto-adjusting number. And just go boom, boom, and then grab every bone, and then actually remember to drink the potion. Because that's a pretty integral part of this system. I will be putting this in a stonemason, even though putting in the bone right would get it done so much quicker. Tempting, tempting, tempting. No, we're definitely putting in a stonemason. Stonemason has been walled off for, what, multiple weeks now? I can't even remember the last time we've been able to do stonemason. It has been locked out for so long. But at some point, we will regain the stonemason skill. But yeah, slowly but surely, everything's been going up. Kind of still at the middle over here. Or mine's been rank actually been like skyrocketing down, which I find kind of funny. Because I've actually been doing an okay amount of stuff in Mines of Bitumen lately. But apparently everyone else is doing everything in Mines of Bitumen right now. Because even though we've been here quite a bit recently, yeah, it hasn't really been moving much. In all fairness, we've been kind of wide farming the whole game as we are today as well. So that might be part of the problem. Is some people are just doing Mines of Bitumen, Mines of Bitumen, Mines of Bitumen. And here I am, it's like, yeah, I'll still do every chapter simultaneously. Oh no, I just really like spreading everything. Obviously not perfectly evenly, but you know, today we kind of are, 210 everything. Well, I'm not going to be getting 210 everything. I'm just going for one level for each, which does bring us pretty close to 210 everything. Of course, cooking will get to 210 by doing this. Other things that would end up occurring is Forager will be one level away from the all-elusive rack, which is pretty much when you have max level Forager, as is pretty much the final useful resource in that skill. Woodcutting doesn't really gain much, nor does that at 210, but the XP rate at its current level range is pretty good. And Bone Ray, obviously, we just need up in general. Actually, we should probably go make our one-time cudgel too at some point when we go use the next 7%. As we should be able to go synergize with that. That assumes we won't get enough between then, because honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, we're probably not going to have another double meter by then. We'll see. Oh, did I make one too many? Oh no, I just realized I did the ratio wrong. Wait, how many do I need to be making? Wait, if we have 22 inventory, you use 3 each. If you did all 6 of them with that. Oh, wait, I shouldn't be making any of the bigger pole then. Okay, I see what's going on here. Wait, this ratio is weird. 5 plus 15 is 20. Yeah, I have to grab 515. Okay, I see. I see the problem here. And then I think I have 2 spear. Okay, I see. I think I see the issue here. I grabbed one too many Suave poles. I see the problem. I keep grabbing 6. We only need 5. So let me grab, let's see. Nope, not that one. Correct resource, wrong tier. So we need 5 of those. Then we grab all of these. Then we make 2 of them as the bigger one, and then the rest is the smaller one. Aha! Yeah, this is how we were doing it earlier. I lost track of the ratio. But yeah, we make 2 of these while we have the 5% boosted. And then we make the rest of our inventory into the weaker one. Not that it's weaker, it's actually a better weapon, oddly enough. But it's less resources to make. But also slightly slower XP. The main thing we're obviously looking for here is a 3-star drop. 3-star drop will allow us to go merge everything into a better weapon. Or at least one of the components to do so at a later point. But as long as we have 2 of them, of which, yeah, we're only missing the other 2 at this point. At this point, we're pretty much going to have, like, infinite cryonite material in, like, all of the smithing grind of 500. Obviously, the other 2 will be gaining some too, but I really like that for the new storage system. The new storage system, it is so free to just dump a ton of stuff in there. It does never need to worry about it. Like, we can keep like 50 items in there, and it is still more storage than we had in the previous system. It's actually insane how much better it is, since it's all combined into one big mega storage. It's so nice. Like, we have a dozen items in there, and I can barely even tell that I have a dozen items that I'm keeping in there. Just because of how much more storage space there is now that's all combined. Honestly, one of the biggest things that actually happened with that patch that I actually really like is just how much storage space we have now. Pretty much never runs out. Oh, did I make the wrong weapon? I did. Gotta be careful with that. There's one thing I liked about the smithing default. I don't think I showed it on stream since we got 274. But it actually still defaults to longsword. It doesn't force me to make a throwing knife that I can't make. Like, if you don't have the poles on you, it just defaults to longswords just instead. I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to make longswords anymore at this level range. But no, I actually can. It's at 287 when we gotta stop. Because then we get into the broadsword, which is kind of a clunky area. The weapon we get from it is really good. The problem is the EXP per bar is quite a bit worse. I guess it benefits from the EXP per hour being increased. I don't know, we'll see when we get there. And of course, the broadswords do sell for a bit more since they use 6 material instead of 4. So, value-wise, I believe it's around the same ratio, roughly. But the biggest issue with it is the EXP per bar is a lot lower, despite the EXP per hour being higher. We also gotta deal with an RNG roll, but that's almost more of a reason to do it than not do it, in case we get a perfect roll one. Because those things are gonna be really valuable when trading comes out, either to keep for ourselves or just in general. Especially once you get them near the higher range, where it's gonna be really important that you have them. Like for PvP and such like that. Pretty sure with bossing it'd be helpful too. Like over a long period of time, having a perfect weapon rather than like a few percent lower could definitely make a difference. The problem right now is you don't hold on to any weapon long enough to justify it being a lot better. Like, it being better is nice, but it being perfect compared to a few percent off means almost nothing because you're just changing weapon like every 30 levels. It's something that probably won't happen once you get like near max or literally max. It also probably won't happen once we get weapon proficiency. That's another big one too. We do not currently have weapon proficiency. The highest weapon we can currently wield is still the same system as before. Like right now we're level 880 and the best weapon we can hold is an 880. However, after the update, they are likely still doing weapon proficiency, and what that will mean is we don't know how many levels you'll be able to get per thing. But that does mean you will be able to go and wield higher weapons and armor than what your level currently is. So depending on how you go with the skill tree or however on if they're going to be doing that system, you can do into weapon or armor proficiency and be able to wield higher than you currently can. We don't know if it's going to be like 5 points, 10 points, you know, exactly how many more per each node or how it will work even just in general. But for example, at level 880, we might be able to wield a level 1000 weapon, a 1200, who knows, a 1500? We don't know how much weapon proficiency or stuff like that will ultimately be on the final skill tree or how they're really going to end up structuring it. However, that's going to be pretty useful. Like, imagine if at 880 right now we were able to, like, wield. Also, you could use all faction stuff, too. But imagine we could just, like, wield, like, a level 1000 something. That would be so much stronger. Even if you just compare it to this 2-star. This 2-star at 1085, compared to what we're wielding now, which is a 4-star at, whatever level it is. Where is it? Yeah, it's only 962 right now for a 4-star. I think even the 1-star is better. Yeah, even the 1-star is stronger. So if we had the weapon proficiency to be able to wield that, even the 1-star at like a level 1000 would be stronger than the 4-star that we're using as our main hand weapon right now. Kind of crazy. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out because that's a lot of extra damage. Like we're talking like a 10% damage increase just for going a little bit deeper into weapon proficiency. We still know what the other options are going to be on the skill tree though, so you kind of have to weigh them against each other. But I don't see any world where weapon proficiency is not going to be worth it. There are some things that might not be worth it, like all faction stuff until you get like really deep into it and stuff like that. But, or even more ammo if you want to go like a pure melee build and want to min-max another way. So there's a lot of things you could do with like 10, 20, 30 ammo, which you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. But, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how it pans out. Really looking forward to it. Obviously, it's been like the big update that they've been needing to do for combat for a while now. Like the merge didn't need to happen for the most part. Like it could have happened, it could have not happened, it would have kind of worked out either way. But the next update we're doing, like, or, you know, next major combat update, we're doing all the special attacks, all of the skill tree, everything like that. That is definitely needed. Just to diversify combat and everything. Could definitely benefit heavily from that, that's for sure. Alright, at some point we will get a weapon. I assure it. We've still not gotten a single drop yet, but they are in there somewheres. I assure you, they're somewheres in that drop table. Worst comes to the worst, we have enough to make about 1,000 of them. Are we going to be making that many? No, or at least not today anyways. But I do want to make some now just for the material, because we're going to need this for upgrading down the line anyway, so we'll just have them pre-built for when we finally go all in on combat. Honestly, by the time we go into combat, we're going to have like 53-star weapons just banked already. It's like, oh, do we need a level? Okay, I'll just merge this, make this quick thing, and then boom, we're good to go. I'm not sure what the level ranges are now to make them really quickly, though. Like what level range is the quicker, better drop rate? Is it like under 800, under 200? I'm actually not sure under the new system. Unless it's the same drop rate the entire time, in which case, rip lower level players. Because that's a huge nerf to the lower level range if that is the case. I'm still not sure how they did that, because I haven't been doing any low level crafting since the update, so I'm actually not sure. Every crafting we've been doing lately is just at whatever our max level is. But that's just to make it a little bit easier to make it into the material we need later down the line. Five players nearby. I've seen Halloween a lot recently. I wonder what they're currently going for. I think I've seen them mostly in Chronopolis, which would indicate the cape that is merchant. Oh, no wonder why. They have 500 merchant. I was going to say. Oh, they're reinvesting all their money into crafting skills now. Ooh. Is that their plan? Get 500 merchant and leatherworker, then dump it all in production skills without having to do any of the gathering? It might be. There's definitely an angle. You would burn through money so high at the higher level range, though, is the only problem with that. Like, you can get away with that pre-200. Post-200, it is horrifically bad. If you are trying to train the production skills beyond 200. It gets super pricey once you get tier 5 and tier 6. It's already starting to get pricey at tier 4. But tier 5 and 6 becomes extremely high. Like, we did the math sum for smithing at tier 5, I think for iron or whatever it was the other day. No, I think it was for platinum. And you'd basically burn 60% of the money that you put in. Like, if you put in 10 gold, you would get back, on average, about 4 gold. And I believe that was counting selling the 4 stars, or 3 stars too, which is something you normally don't do. You tend to keep all the 3 stars for later crafting, later combat, everything like that. Especially in the current state of the game where they made them quite a bit rare to actually get. Mostly because it's all working on, like, the post-200 meter compared to before. Whereas before there was a little bit of a lower threshold that you can kind of use, but not this late in the game you can't. Not when you need numbers like these. But one thing I was slightly considering for the pivot as well, when we go and start grinding a little bit each day, while doing Xenoblade Chronicles X, which we should be starting in 2 days, by the way. We do end up doing that. I don't know. I really kind of want to get to 217 Chef. The big issue with 217 Chef are several. For one, I would have to do 1 billion bank runs to go get a bunch of supplies we need. I would need to do gather, or have to do gather, to 224 so that we can get as many leaks as we need. And even then, we might still just need to do some random contracts, which we've been keeping up with. I've actually been a lot better about keeping up with the contracts. Maybe not literally every hour, but, you know, we've definitely been taking it several times a day compared to in the past where we were doing almost like a weekly. But, yeah, I've been trying to keep up on them so that we don't have to do as many leaks. So we can just up BXP into it so we can get to our next gather goal without really need to worry about it. Yeah, I really don't see the reason to train Forger much compared to Gather. We will still be training it today, as we really need to get that 209 milestone. But after 209, and we go get that until, like, at least 228, I guess, to get all of our racks, I don't really foresee myself really doing much Forager beyond that. I don't really see a reason why you would compared to Gatherer. Gatherer is just so much better, and Delver will also be so much better. Unless they make the Monument reward really good. But last I recall them mentioning, they're going to be making it cosmetic. Which if that is the case, then... yeah, one of the main potential rewards that doing Forager could have is non-existent. And if trading comes out and you could just build up the Monument without even needing to, you know, get the level for it, that would also lead to a weird situation where, like, what on earth are you using Forager for? I guess the highest tier potato for Chef? Or if you really, really want to bypass that one potion and make plus 70s? But you could do that with Gather, or you would just need to make the plus 80. You might just have to gather a little bit more. Like, for example, that same resource that we're just looking at that requires 396. This is that same material right here. 296 and 336. One of the material is literally 100 levels lower, and the other one is slightly higher for the secondary ingredient. But of course, you could always just gather the one and just buy the other if you really had to. Oddly enough, I'll be doing it the other way around. I'm actually not going to be getting the snake skill because the bone is just too good. It's the tier up of what bone we're using now. It's just way too good to a bank to bother. Plus, it gets rake bonus. But we will be doing that for orchids. We'll be doing that and getting all of our plus 80s for when we get there in alchemy. And that's actually pretty important to do at some time in the, I wouldn't say near future, but definitely on the list of things that we need to get around to. And the main reason being is it allows us to get alchemy done. A lot of these goals that we've been doing for some of our wide scaling, not today necessarily, but just in the past, they've generally been working towards two things. One is obviously the ability to make 4-star really high level equipment from scratch. So basically just handcraft, you know, maxed out equipment, or, you know, current in-game maxed out equipment, and just kind of wide farming that way. Excuse me. But the other thing we've been working on, which Fisher and cooking has nothing to do with, but the other things that we've been working on, that we've been using for milestone goals, is trying to synergize into alchemy. So of course, similar to Pre-200, we've mostly been ignoring all the Forager ones, like plus 70 here, plus 70 here, so on and so forth. But I've been going for all of the big other milestones. And what do you need to get all of the big other milestones that we're coming up with? Gatherer. It is actually all Gatherer. Well, other than 238. This is from the supplies we got before the update. But this will be the supplies we did before the update for 238. Go do all those. I'm not sure we're going to get that much more unless the combat reworks pretty soon, because we don't really get more of this material until we get back to Chronopolis. But until then, we're not going to get any more, so we're probably going to be skipping and just using whatever we have in the bank already. Then we're skipping the plus 70. Then at plus 80, Gatherer. We skip Forager. And then at plus 80, Gatherer again. That was the Orchid thing we were just talking about at like 316 or whatever it was for Gatherer there. And then you know what's next? Gatherer and Gatherer. It's actually a triple Gatherer wall. And that's what I want to get by so that we can finally get to Mines of Matubin at some point. But yeah, it's a triple Gather wall. 325, 344, and 364 are all Gatherer. And it's really important to go do those two, because one of those that you can do for an AFK in between that time is the Forensic Potion, which is by far the absolute worst potion that you can make in all of alchemy. It's probably the only one worth never making. Is so bad. Also, where on earth are all these good weapons? I know the drop rate is so low, but gosh, we haven't gotten a single one yet this whole time. But yeah, it's a really big Gatherer wall that's currently in alchemy. And you need pretty high too. I probably will be skipping, oddly enough. Normally we would do the bigger potion and not the smaller. But this is actually one situation where we are going to have to do the smaller and not the bigger. And the main reason for this is doing this at like the higher range requires like 450-ish or something. Like, it's absurdly high how much gather you need for this. However, if you just grab the one material and buy the other for the 8%, or even get both of them, it's a lot more manageable. I think the first material is at like 380-ish, 390-ish. Yeah, the first material is at 361. So pretty much right after we go do the orchid grind, boom, we're right back into the apple grind. So I need this for alchemy, and then boom, I need that for alchemy. So you can just go from one to the other. Don't even need a rake there because Goathorn's too far from a bank, unless you're combining with combat or something. But it ends up working out really well for a lot of alchemy XP. And then from there, yeah, I guess you just do this to hogberries. There's some bitterfruit synergy. Ramhorn's too far from a bank to really bother with too many of them. What's the only problem with upgrading a rake? Like, I feel like the only thing I ever use them for is bone spikes and occasionally femur. It's similar to sickle in that you almost, it feels like you almost never use the tool. It's really weird. Almost all of Gather, I feel like you never use the tool to go train it. Like, you do from time to time, but barely. Like, most of the time, you're not even touching the 2 tools you have. In all fairness, Forager's the same way. Forager has 3 tools, Yet, like, half the nodes in the skill don't even use the tool. Like, we go a little bit deeper to, like, some of the activities. Like, let's say post 200. How many things post 200 use a tool? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 things in all Forager beyond level 200 that use it. Rack doesn't. Every monument piece doesn't. Oh, other ones. But yeah, Rack doesn't. Every monument piece doesn't. The Hogberries don't. The Limpets don't. So yeah, there's only 6 total. And 2 of them are potatoes. Actually, of those 6 as well, what is the breakdown for tool? So 3 of them are trowel, the 2 potatoes, and the starfish. Actually, wait, is the starfish neutral? Wait, actually, you might not need it for starfish now that I think about it. I think I'm thinking of shell. Even though it's kind of like a shell, never mind. I don't think it uses a tool now that I'm thinking about it. I kind of forgot about that. Let me go double check. Does starfish use trowel? I believe it uses no tool now that I'm thinking. Yeah, it doesn't use any tool. Never mind, never mind. Okay, so 5. There are 5 things, all post 200, that use a tool. 2 of them are potato. Or 2 of them are trowel because they're potato. 2 of them are pond net. And only 1 of them is secutor. So secutor is definitely the worst one, as you use it the least. You do use it for the one thing right above 200, but you don't use it for that long. But yeah, the secutor is definitely the worst then, as it's basically used just for bell plant. Doing pond net early would be pretty good because it goes all the way till basically 340-ish, or at least 321. And then, yeah, the only time you get to use it again is the potatoes at 321 and 433. So yeah, trowel definitely the best then. Which is why I've been upgrading it. Well, we already knew that for a long time. Even pre-200, it has the same thing. That's why we're 25, 10, 10 right now. Trowel is definitely the best of the 3. If you had to choose only one to upgrade. Oddly enough, pond net is the second best. At least as far as level ranges, if you were doing the best in slot that you could do at any time. Wide farming is a little bit different. But if your goal was just to take the best option every single time, trowel would be the best, pond net would be the second most used, and secutor would be used the least. I believe they're a little bit more even if you're wide farming though. Also, where on earth are these 3-star weapons? I was hoping to get at least a few while we did this bone right grind. We are at 0. Come on, you're in there somewheres. Come out, wherever you are. What is our RNG right now? At least give us 1. What is this? Also, equipable potions cannot come quick enough. I will call that as the best update day of the entire game once it comes out. That probably won't be true until they do the combat rework and Stonewall Hill and everything, in which case those would then take that spot. But I'm pretty sure the day they add a quest that adds equipable potion will be better than any other day in the history of the game up to this point. Because I'm getting so tired of juggling these and having -1, 2, 3 slots in the inventory. The day we finally never need to deal with that again is going to be so nice. Especially if they had auto-potting and a few other quality of life features around the same time. But even if they don't, that'd still be fine. We just need this to not be a thing. Hopefully they do it in a way that's intuitive, but I don't know, we'll find out soon. Next quest is very, very likely to include it. Or at least a quest in the near future, if not necessarily the very next quest. Well, we don't know too many details about it. We do know it has the best reward of any quest so far, so that's a pretty high bar. It's better than crafting 4-star gear. It's better than being able to use storage rifts. Probably in theory. I highly doubt it's actually better than that. Because what's better than that? Storage rift from anywhere? The ability to make 5-star gear? Like, if you were to equivalent it 1-to-1, that would technically be better. But, you know, you could be better in, like, a sideways way. Or it's better for, like, a skilling activity or something similar. Kind of thing. Because it's really hard to beat Storage Rift and the ability to craft 4-star stuff, that is for sure. Oh yeah, that's something that set my alt accounts behind so much. The requirements for Lost and Found is so much lower now. You no longer need 59 combat. So I took like a month for them to go get 59 combat in Mines of Batubin. And now it's not even required for that quest anymore. Which is kind of unfortunate. That's a month they could have been training like Stonemason and Bonewright and all that. Because that's still what I'm doing on them, by the way. I'm still trying to get them to 500 Stonemason on the Hammer Mage and 500 Bonewright on the what's it called? The Guardian. I figured it'd be good for the long term of them. And then maybe just go all in on focusing on combat and just get them like 20 all. Actually, they already have 20 all. But I still want to work them towards all quests too. If we ever burn out on the main account, that is definitely a goal I want to go for them on them. Then I still need to get them a push 200. They're going to get there naturally in about 2 months. It's still a while away though. Like a month and a half. Basically by May, they should be there. Still a little ways away though, but that's fine. The problem is they get 4 times less value every single time that goes by. Which is not ideal. Compared to like manual training them. This feels like a waste of manual training them though. Because you know how bad it was to get 200 Bonewright and Stonemason the first time around? Imagine doing that with no money and no skill to gather. I'm not sure how you would do that. We would have to go do some kind of moneymaker on them. And then utilize that to cash in for XP. That's what I was kind of hoping for trading on. So I could just like dump a bunch of gold on them. Like every single issue both of them have could be fixed if I just dump like 10 or 20 gold on both of them. Just make it on the main account where we have, you know, better gold rates. Dump it on the alt accounts and then boom, they're good to go. They're like funded for the next like forever. They would eventually run out of money, but you know, they'd eventually reach a point where they're also making money. Because by that point, trading would be out. So what if they were doing a bunch of production stuff or whatever, they'd still be able to, you know, sell out the 3 stars. Or I would even be able to use them. I'd be able to use them as crafting material. Wouldn't even need to sell them. They could make me my crafting material as they get the XP for the lower level range. And then start getting the better, higher level range. Also, how have we not gotten a single 3-star yet? I was expecting like, oh yeah, we'll run away with like 2 to 5 of them or something. We are still at 0. How much more XP do we do? Oh, if we double meter, tempting. If we double meter Bonewright, we get a level. No, we're probably just gonna let it roll in. How much are we getting each? Like 8k or something? That's like what? How many more weapons is that? Let me see what exactly what the XP drop is. I want to say it's like 70-ish. Actually, probably close to 60-ish. 50-ish. 8.2. So yeah, it's a little under 50 then. Yeah, even less than that. It's like 40-ish. We'd have to make about 40 more of them. That's not too many. We're making 5 per inventory. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually get a 3-star by then. I was expecting at least 2. Even with bad odds, there's no way we leave this with 0. Come on. That means we would have made like 60 or 70 of these getting 0. It's actually crazy if so. I know the rates are bad here, but gosh. Come on, crafting. You do a little better than that. Hey, how much are we getting per weapon here? 11, technically 12. Oh, the other one's only 10 silver at that level range. Bigger one's like 43. And if I get a 3-star, it's probably worth like 200, though of course we're keeping it for crafting material. We are not selling that thing. That thing is not being sold by any means necessary. We are holding on to it tight. Oh yeah, by the way, we have no poll today. I'm starting to run out of poll questions. After doing a poll almost every day for a little over 4 months, I am starting to run out of poll questions. Without being kind of repeaty to some of the ones we've done in the past. After we get this Bonewright level, I think it makes sense to go for woodcutting. Though we do need to go check our chef bounties, though, because they should be ready by then. I'm going to be saving the chef bounties for last, though, because I want to do it around 3 hours from now. So we get, like, the perfect synergy for it. Assuming it even takes that long. Because bone right's gonna take like, what, another 20-ish minutes, give or take. Maybe 10-ish. Woodcutting, forager should both take like half an hour, somewhere around there. Probably close to half an hour. EXP rate for this one's actually pretty good. EXP rate for forger at our current level range, not the greatest though, but we do have an upgraded tool, so it's not that bad. I think we have to do like 1,000 of our material though, which is kind of crazy. Wait, is it that many? No, if you need 500k XP, that's 100, not 1,000. Wait, only 100? Really? That seems low. Yeah, we only have to do... Wait, is that really? I only have to do like 120-ish potatoes? That can't be right. You know how quick that is? Wait, is it really that low? Are we doing math that wrong? I don't think I am. Because we're getting like 4 point something K each. Let's even just say only 4k. I think it's closer to 5, but let's say it's 4k each. Yeah, it's only like 125. That doesn't take that long at all. That's actually really quick. And for wood cutting, I think we're getting about 5k each. Which of course also isn't that much. That's like 140, 50-ish. That's not too bad. I figured we do a bunch of smaller grinds. Actually see some levels slightly quickly. I say as we do like one of the slowest ones first. Actually, out of any of these, aside from Chef, I think we literally chose the slowest one possible first. Not ideal. I just figured since we were already close to a knowledge meter, I was like, put it on stonemason. Honestly, I'm scared we're not even gonna get a single 3-star at this rate though. What's going on? I was hoping to leave with at least 2, and there's a good chance we're leaving with 0. How am I supposed to upgrade my gear if I can't get any equipment? Gotta get all those spec weapons for when the update comes out. Because that's one of the other reasons I kind of want to be poking this here and there. Not necessarily like mass farming it, but we always got to be poking a little bit at Bone Right and at Stonemason. Because we're gonna need spec weapons. Like, spec weapons are gonna make themselves. And we can't just depend on RNG to go get them. We're gonna need to craft them a lot of times if we want a really specific spec weapon. And might as well do it beforehand, so we don't need to do it later. Just need to get lucky. That's the problem, though. It's still purely RNG based. But I'm still not sure what the odds are here. I want to say 1 in 30. I always keep saying it's around 1 in 30, but I'm not sure what the actual number is. I'm sure it's been data mined, or if anyone's kind of figured it out by doing like a billion of them. But assuming it is 1 in 30, each one takes 30 seconds. Technically slightly more, because obviously bank time and everything. What does that come out to? I'd say every single one takes 35 seconds, counting for bank time and everything else that you would be doing, forward selling it, all that, storage rifting it. Let's say each one takes 35 seconds, even though they take 30 seconds, but counting all the extra time. And you had 30 times 35. What does that come out to? Divided by 60. It is roughly 17.5 minutes per 3-star. So you can very comfortably expect 3 3-star weapons per hour while doing any crafting skill at a high level. Doesn't matter which. Bone Right, Smithing, and Stonemason should all generate 3 3-stars per hour. We are 38 minutes in with 0. We should have 2 by now. But yeah, you can expect on average 3 3-stars per hour. Which sounds pretty reasonable, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That's actually perfectly fine. That's actually enough to make a whole 4-star from scratch per hour, then. Even if you had to count travel time and everything. So that's actually not that bad when you break it down that way. It is possible to make a 4-star weapon every hour. On average. Obviously, you can get unluckier, like we are right now, where we should have like 2 of them and we have 0. But on average, with average luck, you should be able to make 1 4-star weapon per hour from scratch. And by from scratch, I mean if you already have the material banked. Not like scratch, like gathering and everything. That would take closer to probably an hour and a half or something. But if you already have the material banked, and you're just doing the crafting part, it's 1 hour per 4-star spec weapon. Which isn't that bad. Especially since it's basically best in slot at any given time. Unless you really want a good elemental roll. But if it's like a physical weapon, it's automatically going to be your best in slot. The problem with these is like they could have a different roll. Like 79% is below average. 75% is really below average. 47% on this is almost best in slot. It goes up to 49. So that's actually a really good roll. 45% is also way above average because 40% is average. And this one got what? Okay, this one's above average, 81%. Not perfect, but on the better half. Right, where's my weapon? We just did the math. We should have 2 by now. Where's my 2 weapons at? Luckily we're doing this more so for XP than the actual product, but obviously we still need it. The more we get now, the less we need later. As I do plan to keep every 3-star going forward for stonemason, smithing, and bone rate. I don't care if we only have like 20 inventory space left. I'm keeping every single 3-star we get under this new system for when we inevitably end up needing it. The only exception to this is ones that we get as drops, because they have way better sell value. For example, the bow that we got earlier. Like this bow right here is worth 355 silver. Oh no, it's still kind of worth crafting around that if we need to upgrade later, especially at 47%. Never mind. I probably would still keep that. We'd lose a little bit of value on it. It's not that bad. Also, look at the difference between this. This is what a crafted one looks like at 876. It's 42.3 silver. Look at this. This is just an enemy drop and it's worth over 300 silver more despite being a lower level. That is crazy. Be interesting to see how that will work with player trading. Because that basically means monster drops aren't as worth it in that sense. Because the value for selling them is way better than their trading value. Because this rapier could easily be worth like 300 silver, if not more. Like when it comes to player trading, especially if this percent was better. Whereas this, you'd probably just sell out. And this was like a really perfect roll. Because it'd probably just be more convenient than trying to sell that thing for, you know, like 400 or 500. Like the amount of time it would take to go sell it, you might as well just sell it for the shop for the better value. Whereas crafted material, you basically have to sell it to other people. Because this you might be able to get like 300 silver for, but if you sell it to a shop, it's only 42. You're losing like 5-6 of its value. You know, you're losing like over 80% of its value for selling it to the shop. Whereas if you sell this to the shop compared to selling it to a player, you're losing like what, maybe 10-20% value compared to if you sell it to a player. Interesting to see how that pans out in the future. Man, a lot of waiting game. A lot of waiting in our level go up simulator. Oh, so we haven't gained a single level yet today, by the way. In our level go up simulator. It's not simulating levels particularly well. I'll be getting a lot racking in. I might even go get a carpentry level too, just for the sake of it. Since we're going kind of wide. I was originally just going to do all the skills we need 1 level on. But because of all the woodcutting we're doing, we're going to have that carpentry level so free. Might as well go get it. It's going to take like no time at all. I think it's like 10-20 minutes to go get it. You'll be banking more than enough for it just during the stream, just getting the 1 woodcutting level. Not even counting what I already have there. Oh, gotta remember to use the bigger one, and we are still putting this on stonemason, so we can re-unlock the stonemason skill finally. It's a skill we have not had access to for a long while, and I do want to get back to it at some point. But 6.5 levels to go. And so far we've done 7.5, so we're pretty much halfway there. Though given that we're mostly using knowledge for, I guess we're technically slightly further than halfway there, so we're almost there. Slowly but surely. The 233 bolas. For the andestites. We need them so badly. Honestly, I might even use my entire stack of material. I at least want to use like down to 1,000, I think. We're going to use a lot of it once we get there, because we'll be saving all of them anyways to go use this upgrade material. It's not like we're not getting upgrade material of it, because one of the reasons I was kind of saving them is, oh, I want to wait until we use them for upgrade material. But we could easily do that now with the new system, so I'm not too worried about it. We can cash almost all of them in for XP if we really want to. Still keep about 1,000 just in case, though. But everything above 1,000, we're probably just going to go make stuff out of and then just bank every 3-star and keep them in there. Because even if I make all 3 components, we will at some point later down the line need to make an adjustment number. Though that would normally use lower tier material. Because you're always going to need 1 adjustment number to get whatever you need. Like if we have, I don't know, a level 1,000 spear and a level 1,500 smithing item. Like if we need that object to be, I don't know, a level 950, we're going to need to make that stonemason level really, really, really low in that hypothetical in order to make sure we get the exact level we need. So you're always going to need at least 1 adjustment number that you're going to need to make at a later time. Even if we make all 3 components beforehand, We still have to come back and make one of them at a really, really low level range to get the exact level we need. Oh, so I'm starting to think that 3-star weapons don't exist. We did the math earlier. We're double over drop rate right now. Like, we should have 2. Working on a 3rd. And we're still at 0. RNG does that sometimes. Oh, so this rate, I almost want a first-time bonus to cudgel. Don't really need it, though. Like, what on earth are we using a cudgel for? And the first time... The biggest issue is first-time bonus gives so little post-200. Like, we're gonna get like a 20... There it is! Finally! They do exist! Oh, we actually got a pretty good roll, too. This is actually a surprisingly not horrible roll. Oh, maybe it's a weapon we try out when the faction thing comes out? If we have weapon proficiency and all-faction proficiency, I can go try out that weapon a little bit. Oh, that might be the one that we test drive, unless we get a better roll by then. Because that's our best-in-slot green weapon after the update. This is the strongest green weapon in the game, and Cryo Knight doesn't have access to green melee. So unless we want to run an infinite ammo bow, it'd be our best option if all faction proficiency is high enough. At 80%, it might be worth using. At 90%, it would definitely be worth using. And at 95% or higher, it'd be absurdly, absurdly good. Like, better than anything we'd be running on Cryo Knight. Assuming the enemy's weak to green. That's my biggest concern with weapon proficiency, though. Is if they make it too high, what's the point of different classes? And if they make it too low, what's the point of even having them? Like, if they cap out at 80%, who on earth would ever use faction equipment from other factions? Because 80% is almost nothing. But then again, there's the exact inverse, too. Like, if you had 95%, 98%, something like that. At that point, the faction differences are almost as purely cosmetic. Like what icon you have above your head. Because 95% or higher is basically full damage. Like, yeah, it's like 5% worse. Like, let's say it goes up to 95%. It's 5% worse than if you were, you know, the actual class. But, I don't know, 5% is kind of trivial. Like, in the long term, if you're doing something for a long period of time, obviously 5% can add up. The whole reason why we use the XP pots. But overall, 5% is not that much when it comes to combat. It definitely makes a difference, but it's not that bad to be able to use all faction stuff. Especially since a lot of times where you would be using it would be better DPS, obviously, than what you would normally have access to. Like a Cryo Knight using green weapons from Guardian, Guardian using yellow weapons from Hammer Mage, and Hammer Mage using blue weapons from Cryo Knight. As all of those do not have melee weapons for their... Basically, every class does not have a melee weapon for what they're strong against. So Cryo Knight is strong against green, so they don't have a green weapon. Guardians are strong against yellow, so they don't have a yellow weapon. And when I say don't have a yellow weapon, I mean melee-wise. And Hammer Mages are strong against blue, so they don't have a blue weapon. But after we get all faction equipment, that kind of changes everything in that regard. But it comes down to what that percent's going to be. We'll have to wait and see. If nothing else, it's going to be fun since we can actually try out every spec weapon in the entire game upon launch. Might even be able to do it in the beta. That'd be funny if they just had like an area in Hopeport during the beta for next beta. Where like every single spec weapon is just on the ground. That'd be really funny. Just so you don't have to make it yourself. Otherwise, gosh, there's going to be so much crafting we have to go do. If we want to test out every single one of them. Because I believe there's about, what, 12 weapons per class? Which means you would have to make 36 4-star weapons. You know how long that takes? At our current level range, if we were to make them to our level, obviously you wouldn't want to do all of that, that'd be a waste. But if we were to hypothetically make every single one of those into an 880, hypothetically, that would end up taking like 36 hours. Likely more if we're going to keep getting this unlucky. But on average, that would take about 36 hours to go get a spec weapon for every weapon in the game to go test it for the update. which overall isn't like that bad. The biggest issue is how much inventory space that takes up. The other issue being you move levels so quickly that you'd outlevel almost all of them immediately. So that definitely would not be worth doing. So hopefully they'll have some kind of alternative to test it in the beta. Because otherwise we might have to do that. We might have to spend like 4 days doing nothing but crafting later down the line, sometime before the update. Just so that we have a spec weapon for every single thing. Both to test it during the beta, but also to have them for when it hits the live game. I assume they would have a more streamlined way of testing that though. Because I highly doubt most people are going to bother making 36 spec weapons just to go test the ball. Some amount of people probably will. Including us. But, I don't feel like most people would bother doing that. Because that is like a multi-day grind just to get set up to test something in the beta. Even if you played like 20 hours a day, that would still take like 2 days of grinding. Non-stop, all day. Just so you can start testing it. That's not even you testing it. That's just to be able to start testing everything. It would take like 2 to 3 days of non-stop grind. Oh, not the one I wanted. Right, how's our bone rate level doing? What is that? 2 more inventories? 2 more inventories. Or no, is that 1 more inventory? Math. 8, 5. Yeah, 1 more inventory. My bad. 1 more inventory. Hopefully we get 1 more 4-star. We should have about 2.5 by now, and we currently have 1. So if we can get 1 more within these last 7, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And then we move on to, I guess, woodcutting. Though I do need to go check our bounties. As well as put away the 1 potion, because I don't need that one anymore. We just need it while we're in Mines of Bitumen. I will be keeping the 7% Mines of Bitumen on us, because we're throwing into Stonemason all day. But beyond that, yeah, we can get rid of the rest of our potions then. And go check our chef bounties because we got to keep poking at it. Actually, I might even go turn in some of these. We got a triple 1 there. Unfortunately, some of them are kind of bad, like Barrack. But it's pretty quick to go make. Alright, final inventory. And that will be our bone rate level. Then we only have 3 skills to go. Alright, what do we need here? Put this in here, grab you, boom boom. Alright, final inventory. Goodbye, bone rate. Wow, we still got like 3,000 bone spikes left. We've got so many of them. We still have enough to make almost another 1,000 weapons. So some of those would be saved for Hammer Mage. There are a few things you make with Hammer Mage on it. Actually, 1 specific weapon. No, I think we're kind of past that point, so never mind. The thing that's useful for Hammer Mage, I believe, is, where is it? Not the Great Hammer. This. The Great Stone Mace, which is their Necromay quick-hitting weapon. I don't feel like that will have a better spec than what Cryonite has, the really slow-hitting Cryonite weapon for 2-hand Necromay. But yeah, that's what this does for Hammer Mage, but really quick-hitting. It's like the exact opposite of what Cryonite has. This is super quick-hitting Necromay, and the one we have is the slowest possible hitting one. Both 2-hand. The one on Cryonite should have a better special attack, though. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot about special attacks we don't know specifically. There's definitely some theming going on that you can kind of see with all the classes and everything that they're going for, but as far as exact specifics, exact numbers, we have no clue what they're really going to be doing with them. And hopefully we will in the next month or 2. This should be the next big update after the next 2 quests. Likely getting 1 new quest this week. Another new quest probably in a few weeks from now, like early April, probably around the time of the Easter event or something. But then after that, yeah, we should be starting to get introduced to the new combat system that they're working on. Like the actual new combat system, not just them just merging everything together and the few other little quality of life they added. Like the actual combat rework. Most recent combat rework was just like a tease, just to kind of consolidate everything. But the real combat rework hasn't actually happened yet. So thank you, Sonny, for leaving a like. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you've been having a wonderful week. But yeah, hopefully Gems of War is getting the update today. We were talking about that yesterday on the stream. But we will be streaming that in like 7 hours from now. Honestly, I'll be streaming it if there is an update today, but we should be getting an update in exactly 7 hours from now for, not Brighter Shores, but for Gems of War. Though it would have been funny if both of them had an update today. No, it's likely only Gems of War that does. Oh wait, the new Gems of War update's already out? Wait, it is? Wait. That's news. Wait. Is it really? Where is, are you sure? Mine's not showing one. I gotta double check. I'm not seeing it on my end. Are you talking about the patch notes or the actual patch being live? Because I'm in right now, and it's still showing the previous update. What platform are you on? Because mine is not showing an update right now. Oh, so how did we not gain a bone rate level? Okay, let's do one more inventory. That's miscalculated. But yeah, I just checked right now and it's not out. Unless you mean the patch notes for it. Because sometimes you do the patch notes early. But at least on Steam it doesn't seem to be out. You're playing on Steam right now? Really? That's weird. Mine's not showing an update. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, I just opened it and it was still previous version. How do you force check update on Steam again? Properties, updates. Let's see. Wait until I launch the game. Nope, no update. Oh good, we just got our level. I can't see it right now, but I can hear it. But yeah, I'm checking on Steam right now. With force update when opening game. And I still did not get it. That's weird. Alright, let me go change the update to automatic again. Use global settings. There we go. Alright, let me try one other thing. Wait until I launch game, turn that one. Nope, still no update. I changed like every possible setting that could possibly make it work there. But no, it's still not updating for me. That's weird. That's very strange. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing it later, but for whatever reason, if it is out right now, mine is not wanting to download. I've changed like every possible setting to every possible parameter and it's still not going. Hey, finally! There's the second one. Nice. Wow, this one's even a better roll, though pretty useless to us since we're Cryonite. This is definitely crafting material. We would never need to use this weapon ever. This is one of those weapons where unless you're a guardian, you're basically never touching it. Especially as a Cryonite. But hey, it makes for good crafting material. Alright, 1 down, 3 to go. Maybe 4, because I might go do that carpentry level. I'll definitely at least go for the other 3, which is 1 woodcutting level, 1 forger, and 1 chef. So after this inventory, we're going to go teleport to Hopeport, sell everything we have out, go check our cooking bounties, go reconsolidate our potions, and then go do woodcutting. Oh, you mean they just did the patch notes thing? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they generally do the patch notes early. I thought you were talking about the actual update. Which is why I was checking on Steam. But if you just mean they posted the patch notes, okay, that makes sense. Let me just go peek at that real quick. Let's see. It's not there. Wait, where did I post it? Forum, I guess. Nope, it's not there either. Now I'm confused where it even is. Oh, I'll check it later tonight. It's not too big a deal. Anyways, let's go to Hopeport. Store away the 1 good weapon. Get rid of all the junk. You're a keeper. Wait, I'm out of space? Oh, wow. I finally got all the space. I don't think I've done that since the new system. We got so dry on bone rate, I actually filled up my entire bank exactly on the dot. Wow, that was convenient. I actually did exact max storage. Oops, no, 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 don't equip. No, why are you even doing that? That's not an option yet. Posted link? I don't see a link there. Not sure why it's getting blocked. Oh, because you don't have mod status, that's why. But are you talking about the thing that they posted the other day? Because we went over that on the video yesterday and on the stream on Friday. Because I was just checking right now and I didn't see anything new beyond that. You can post it on Discord? Okay, if you can send it to me directly on the Discord link, I go check that then. Hey, Craddock's here. I've seen Craddock a lot recently. Hope all's been well. Which is actually funny. He actually logged in yesterday exactly, we were doing detective exactly when he logged in. Worked out so conveniently. He said hello in chat and he was like right there. Didn't even realize it. Gosh, we got a lot of junk. I should probably go open Discord so I can actually see the link that you're sending. I never keep Discord open by default. How do I open Discord quickly? Discord. There we go. Send it to me on Discord, thank you. Yep, there it is. Oh yeah, I already saw that. Yeah, I know that. But thank you though. But yeah, we went over that on the video yesterday and on stream on Friday. Yeah, I know of that one. I thought you meant a new one. Is when you said that, I thought they posted the patch notes for like 8.4 or something. Which would have some more info than what that post has. Is this more so a summary of the new feature rather than a patch notes of the patch? Oh, exact inventory, convenient. Alright, so all that, boom, good to go. It's a new one with Martex, is it? Like posted today new? Let me go click on it and see where it brings me. It's based on the title, it looks exactly the same. Where did my Discord go? Wait, how's it closed already? Wait, that is closed all of Discord. Gosh. Discord, stay open. Alright, what do we need here? Free. Not gonna bother with that. Alright, should be good to go. Alright, let's go make all the food we have. Go do a quick chef run. Visit site, yes. Let's see. Guild Wars, Reforged, The Future and Beyond. Oh yeah, it is a new one. Wait, what? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, they did one last little summary of it. I guess to help people out with like a quick summary on it. Okay, I see what you mean now. Interesting. I don't think that has much info than what we already knew, though. Interesting nonetheless, though. Alright, what do we need? Oyster 6. Let me grab that. But if nothing else, it's something we can go over before they post the patch notes tonight or something. While we're waiting for the actual update. Yeah, we get that, we get that. What was the other thing we needed? Lobster. Oh, so we have still so much lobster. I way overbought lobster. I was thinking we would need way more than how many we did. There's definitely been some things we overbought and underbought. Oh, so where is everyone? I don't think I've ever seen the chef place empty. There must be a party going on in the other chef area or something. That or the game has gone down to one player again. Oh no, we're the only player left. Oh no. Our private server chef room. But yeah, thank you, Sonny. Greatly appreciated. Is that everything? I feel like I'm forgetting something. No, that is everything. The problem is doing all this in one go does not seem doable. Unless we start from Ella. You know, maybe this is doable, actually. As long as we don't get hit on the road, this might be doable with one potion. It's gonna be really tight, though. Is I'm gonna have to do double Ella, Vincible, Little Lucy, or sorry, double Vincible. Oh no, single Vincible. Then Little Lucy, then Telly back for Barrack. And if we don't make it for Barrack, that's not that big a deal. We're definitely gonna have to start it for my Ella then. My biggest concern is getting tapped when we go down the Vincible road. I don't know, we'll give it a shot. Let me just make sure I know what we need to turn in. It's Oyster Oyster first. It's Oyster Oyster and then Oyster. Okay, so triple Oyster. Just keep clicking on Oyster. Oyster 1. Oyster 2. Use that on Forger. Oh, but less Forger we need to go do. No! He went in my direction! Ah, we're not gonna make it. Should have drank a fear potion. Honestly, I need to keep some 3-minute fears in there for whenever we need like a mini one. Or 12-minute is too long, but 3 is just enough. I don't know, maybe we can still make it. It's gonna be really tight though. It already was, and that just made it even tighter. As long as we can make it to Low Lucy in time, that's fine though. If we don't make it to Barracks, it's not that big a deal. As long as we can make it to Low Lucy within 1 minute. And hey, we finally have 35 gold. That should be enough for us to AFK during Xenoblade Chronicles. We did the math earlier. We should burn through roughly 400 silver per hour if we bank all leather. And that's not too bad. 400 silver per hour. That's over 80 hours pretty much of AFK time. And I highly doubt Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to take us 80 hours. Plus, we'll still be making some money during that time as well. It's not like we're not manually playing at all. Because we'll still do a little short stream every single day. Maybe a little bit of money making actually, just so we can have the money to fund it. But you should be fine regardless. Okay, come on, little Lucy. We got 15 seconds. You can make it. What do we need to turn in? We got to turn in the Ray. Okay, she's standing in a good position as well. If you can just move one tile closer to me, that'd be great. Yeah, we can make Barracks in time, but that's fine. It's worth the least out of any of them. Honestly, even if we didn't get attacked, we still would not have enough time. Like, we'd be like right here and the potion would go out, even if we didn't get attacked. But this one is worth the absolute least, so it doesn't really matter too much. And now let's go do woodcutting! Alright, next go on the chopping block. We did one bone rate level, now we do one woodcutting level. Then we'll probably do one forger level and finish by finishing out whatever we still need for chef by then. So our woodcutting is going to be hickory. We actually just unlocked hickory not too long ago. And yeah, we're at the best XP rate we could be getting at the moment. As it's a 208 log and we're at 208 woodcutting. So XP rate's pretty good. This is also our most upgraded woodcutting tool at the moment. Even though it's tied with a few others, I believe the level itself has like an extra thing right now. Yeah. So even though it's tied with my handsaw, naturally from the leveling of the skill, you have 2 higher upgrades right now. So even though I have both of them at level 25, my hatchet right now, aka the one we're using, has 10% better XP rate than if we were to use the handsaw. So these are pretty good XP then, as these are hatchet related XP. It's also relevant if we end up opting to do the passive at any point. As at level 225, we can do the passive until we have access to, which I'm likely doing, by the way, I'm likely going to be doing this passive from 225 all the way till 234 until we get to Bramble. Is our EXP rate off a Hickory at that level range? Is going to be pretty bad. And the 8th activity should get boosted based on how upgraded our axe is. And that's not bad at all. That's going to be a 30% EXP increase. Whereas an average AFK activity would have a 0% increase, or whatever, technically actually whatever this is. Which actually have 15%, so not that bad, I guess. I didn't realize that. The loppers actually go get as upgraded as your axe does. That's interesting. But if you had the choice, it's still better to go axe, as you're able to double dip it, whereas the other thing can only be used for AFK activity. So since we have a potion on us, we do have to do a little bit of a weirder format. I'm eventually going to have to grab one log from the other room. Also, one other thing we can't do here is until we have 264 gatherer, yeah, 264, we can't get the better tank fruit here. It's one thing I was kind of waiting on before we really power grind woodcutting. Obviously doing a little bit here and there is fine. I want to wait until we can grab like triple tank fruit for really, really good free gather XP. It's something we currently can't do because the tank fruit's way too low of a level. Same as the orchard. But this place actually gets 2 upgrades in the future. 264 gatherer and 336 gatherer. But we're currently at a level range where it's actually really bad doing hickory, because we do not have access to either of those 2 upgrades at the moment. Oh, so I should have moved to the other tile. We just lost a tile doing that, but it's fine. Still going for it. But there's a lot of 0 tile stuff you can take for both of them. Like this orchard right here being 0 tile. But this path, this orchard is also 0 tile. That one's 0 tile. That one's 0 tile. There's so much 0 tile. This tank fruit is 0 tile. This tank fruit is 0 tile. This tank fruit, if you do it on the way back, is 0 tile. I believe there's 3 tank fruits and 3 orchards there, but all 3 0 tile. And the orchards are actually worth banking as well. So you can kind of incorporate that into your woodcutting run if you were doing hickory orchards. But we are not high enough gatherer levels, so we cannot do either. That's one of the reasons I've been kind of holding back on woodcutting a little. And the final level from 209 to 210, I kind of want to do while doing 224 gatherer down the line. But today I will just speedrun it by doing hickory. But down the line, we're probably going to do 209 to 210 exclusively off of yew trees while getting 224 gatherer. And then from there, I'm probably not getting another woodcutting level until we go do gather to at least 264 bare minimum. So we can actually get gather XP while woodcutting again. Also, I'm skipping a nice little gap right there, as it helps us get a little bit closer to Bone Spike, which is really important. The only big downside of that is we do get less Thistle. However, the upside of that is you can kill goblins for Thistle. Before we were getting the low tier stuff, but under a new combat system, they should give a low chance of giving us the high tier ones. So we don't have to get all of them from Gatherer. We're probably going to get most of them from Gatherer. But you're allowed to get them from combat now. You were before too, but we weren't at a level range where we could. But now we are with the new combat system. So if I was to go kill, for example, the level 904 goblins, those drop the Thistle in question. Like, just killing those gives us the resource we need. So if we do end up going uneven and having way more, like, not enough Thistles, but having way too many of the red clover, that's actually perfectly fine, as there's currently no secondary way that you can get red clover. But there is a secondary way of getting Thistle. It's from killing those goblins. Which under our current striping, we would actually have to do pretty soon, oddly enough. And with skill tree and everything else, who knows, maybe we could even kill them early. Because there are a lot of safe spots that get them stuck if you can infinite ammo them with a yellow weapon, like using our big axe weapon. Which is definitely an angle to go down as a potential possibility. Yeah, we shouldn't need too many logs. What is it, a couple hundred? No, less than 100. No, a little more than 100. We're getting, what, 5.5k each? So, like, 120-ish then. So basically the rest is inventory and then, like, 5 more inventories then. Technically 4. It's gonna be kind of awkward though, because I'm gonna have to come back to do 1 inventory for like 7 logs or something. Because the number is gonna be just slightly off, but that's fine. So I'm trying to set up as if I need to do that log. We already did that earlier. That's fine. Hey, could you hear that phone ringing when it was going off earlier? Not sure if it picks up on the mic or not. Ended up calling my dad earlier and forgot to shut off my phone. As hello, Cervalian. Welcome, welcome. My wall's been wall. Currently working on our 1 level until everything pre-210 gauntlet. We did bone right and got 2 3-star weapons while doing so. Working on woodcutter right now. Only got a quarter of a level to go. I think like 3-4 more inventories or something. Probably about 4 more. And then probably moving on to forager and finishing off on chef. Because the longer we put off chef, the more bounties we can get into it. So the longer we take, the easier cooking gets, technically. Is the more free XP we'll get from bounties. But honestly, I think that might be my pivot for tomorrow. I kind of want to go do the 226 gatherer grind, or sorry, 224. Dumping all of our EXP into gatherer during the entire time. And go get all of our leaks that we have. Just so I can kind of plan out chef a little bit more. Because I want to keep at least 1,000 of them for contracts. And everything beyond that is just power leveling then. Because I want to calculate it out based on the wiki numbers. I'm pretty sure it's calculated for. I still keep just doing it manually though. But you can't see your total level anymore, or total XP anymore in game. But anyways, I want to go do the math on how much EXP we will get from every leak pie we do, minus 1,000, because I'm going to keep 1,000 of them. Just so we know about how much we have to do through contracts. Because I do kind of want to start making the 217 push. Because that allows us to, whenever we feel like it, AFK chef. It also increases our bounties even more. It also gets rid of one kind of annoying bounty, which is lobster. Unfortunately, I still have like a few hundred spears banked. But being able to replace those with stew is really nice. Also, hello B! Welcome, welcome! As it turns something that's like a 2-step AFK activity, or, you know, it turns something that's like a 4-step super annoying thing into a 2-step AFK activity. While also giving slightly better XP than what the other thing would have given. The lobster does give surprisingly good XP, but it's just because it requires 1.5 billion items and steps. Its actual XP per hour is actually kind of bad. The only reason it looks like so much per item is because it takes forever to make. But stew should be more XP and so much easier to do comparatively. Because that's the next one that's on the chopping block. Because once we have stew, it'll be this, cod, chicken and leek pie, oyster, and then fried ray. Also, that's another thing we have to go try to plan for, too. I gotta try to have 234 chef by the time I no longer need fried rays, or, you know, by the time I run out of fried ray. I think I have like 300 of them left. Because right now, the main dead task we have right now is cod and chips. The next cod and chips after this one is pretty good. The one at 259. But the 208 cod and chips is actually really, really bad. It requires 2 material that are both pre-200 that you tend to skip. And I have basically 0 of them banked. And they are a really, really dead task for a while. Even if you did the Fisher and Forager grind, you're likely to have very few of them relative to how many you need for post 200. It's probably the one that is scaled the weirdest out of anything post 200. I'm not sure why they put this post 200. Honestly, if anything, the chicken and leek pie and cod and chips I feel like should be reversed. Like, both of where they are should be completely flipped. You get almost no material for cod and chips. Yet if that was at 208, it would make a lot of sense, because that's also when you get the gatherer thing at 208. When is Tastic going to be on Tells? Oh no, I haven't bothered signing up for it. I think he said when he was on stream one day. Or, you know, when he was in our stream one day, just stopping by. Because I was asking him about it. I think he has like a sign-up list. I just haven't bothered yet. I'm waiting until closer to 1.0. Like, at this point, I consider this like before the game's even out. Because it kind of is. We've still been doing a bunch of stuff with it and everything. But I didn't really plan on covering a lot of videos or anything else like that until, you know, actual 1.0 launch. Obviously, we've been farming a decent amount and streaming every day. As far as, like, really covering stuff for this game, I've mostly been waiting for 1.0. And similarly, when it comes to this podcast thing, I would also probably want to wait until around 1.0. Let's wait till the game's, like, actually fully fleshed out and not changing drastically, like, every month. What is that now? 2 more inventories? Looks like it. Math. 50... No, it's 3. It's like 2.5. It's a really weird number. We had the same issue earlier when we were calculating it out. We're gonna have to do like a partial inventory, so I'll just do a full thing. But yeah, 3 more inventories and we should be woodcutting done. Honestly, I'm so tempted to go to the carpentry level. The carpentry level's not gonna take any time at all. We'll hold off for now though and go to forager after this one. Go from gatherer into gatherer. Though if we did go do a carpentry level real quick, that would mean we would do production, gather, production, gather, production. You know what? Maybe we will do the carpenter level then. That way we get a perfect spread of alternation. We started with production, then we did woodcutting. Then we do production of carpenter. Then we do gather, a forager. And then we finish off with the production, which would be chef. So yeah, we actually will go for the carpenter level then. Might as well. Carpenter some of the logs we're doing right now. We don't even need to do all the ones we're cutting right now. I'm pretty sure like 50, 60 something of them will already be enough. Oh, there is one problem with that. I would need to go grab 5% pots to go do that. I'd have to go out of my way to go back to chapter 1. Because I'm pretty sure it is worth it to go there just to grab some 5% real quick. But another thing I've been considering too, which is something I've never actually done, I was considering doing a series for Old School RuneScape as well. There's so many things I need to grind, though, in that game, so I'm not sure exactly how I want to go about it. Because I'm not really at a point where I want to go make a new account in that game. Even though there are a lot of new accounts I would want to make. I'm considering making a guide on green logging every boss as a hardcore. As I believe I currently have 0 bosses green logged. So I think the plan was to start early game and just go through like every single boss in the entire game. Because I may have to go double check right now. I don't believe we have technically done it for a single boss yet. Not counting ones that have like nothing on the drop table. Like one single item and we got that one item or something. Let me go double check. Let's see, if we go check over here. And we check collection log for bosses. Is there a single one checked off that isn't Obor or Moon's Apparel or Hespori? No. So all the ones that basically have like one item or have a drop table that's like the freest thing ever, like Moon's Apparel, which I still haven't finished because I still need a spare set for the Master Clue. So I technically haven't even finished that either. So yeah, that would be a fun series. We could try doing that. Because the only ones that have green logs are ones you basically get a free green log for walking in the door. I have not actually green logged anything that's a real boss. So that'd be a fun series. I think that's what we do. Alright, we got it. Boom. There we go. If we do a video series for that, I'm going to make a hardcore guide on every boss in the game. But I can't fully do the guide until we green log it. We're going to green log one boss at a time on a hardcore, max hardcore. There we go. Easy as that. And it's easy to get footage for over a long period of time. Without needing to worry about missing clips or anything. Obviously, quite a few of them will already be started. And obviously, I won't have a clip of, like, every single drop. Just not needed. It would more so be a guide on how to kill them as a hardcore. For, like, early, mid, and maybe late game. Or just early and mid, depending on the boss. There's some bosses you don't really fight in late game. Even though we will be fighting them in late game. But it's because we're doing it for the collection log. I've been always wanting to cover a series for the game, I just never got around to it. And it's something I'm going to be doing anyways over time once we get membership back on it. So I might as well record it for doing anyways. Because the only few bosses we have technically green logged are all ones that are basically free. Actually, there's some pretty free ones I still haven't green logged, oddly enough. At some point, Brighter Shores will get bossing. Or any amount of content to go for. One day. Oh, is this the final inventory, or do we have to do one more after this set? One more inventory after this inventory. Technically, we need half an inventory, but we'll still do a full since we're already here. Oh, come on. We're going to be like a few short. Really? I knew we were slightly short, but come on. Oh, that's unfortunate. Are we going to do a whole inventory just for that? Honestly, I think the answer is yes. Better we could do one gatherer run and go get the yew tree while doing it. Honestly, that actually sounds like it might work. Wait, maybe we do that. Because we're going to be so close. Oh, wait, no. Do we get it here? Wait. We get 4 more. Wait. Oh, this is going to be barely enough. Oh, how perfect is that? That is exact number of logs. Oh, that is so perfect. Oh, wait, that is so exactly on the dot, pretty much. Like, the final log we take is the level. Oh, that is so good. I don't even need to go bank it. I can just teleport over to our next objective. Oh, wait, but I need to go get the potion. Ah, I do have to bank it then. Alright, there we go. Alright, let me go get the potion real quick. Or maybe potions. Let's see. Let's go to Hopeport. Because once we get that, I'm going to have to dump 4 knowledge points into it anyway, so while we do Forger, I can kind of do it that way. Or just dump into Chef at that rate. Or even back into Forger. But no, we'll do some actual normal Forger. But first... Oh, so do we need to check bounty yet? No, it's not time. Still got like 20-something minutes. Excuse me. Alright, let me go, what do we need then? I guess I just need 1 Hope Forest potion. So we grab like, where are they? Grab like a couple of those and 1 single one of these. There it is. Alright. Oh wow, we are so low on those. Oh wow. I forgot. We need to go train alchemy. Oh no. We get more at 344 alchemy, which is another 111 levels, gosh. But yeah, I have like 80 to last me all the way until then. Yeah, if we ever need to do something for chapter 2, we are almost out of 7% pots. We have like 83 left or whatever that was. Like, using a 5% is not that big a deal, but still, it's not ideal. But we need to get those 8% operational because we're definitely not doing the 10%. The 10% are too annoying to bank. Maybe once that boss right next to it is repeatable, it'd be more worthwhile. But grabbing Sage only is such horrible value to go for. It is horrifically bad value. Well, no, I guess max level Sage would be, but it's such a high level. Like, we're talking 481 Forager. And you only do it for 9 levels too before Femur becomes better. Like, even if you were to do it, it's barely even worth it. Oh wait, when did I get 11 U's? I guess I'll go do these real quick, I guess. When on earth did I bank exactly 11 U? Where did these come from? When on earth did this happen? I'll go do them real quick, I guess. Why on earth did I bank exactly 11 U's out of nowhere? The stranger part is that it's not like 22 or 23 or 24. The fact it's exactly 11 is kind of weird. I have no clue when I banked these, but we'll go run them real quick, I guess. I guess at the end of the gatherer grind, I just never processed them or something. I banked like a couple U's on the last trip or something. You got 300 out of 333 miner? Nice, going for that flint. Yeah, that's something I was actually considering doing. I was looking at the whole range for mining. And I was actually considering doing the passive from 301 to 309. It seems like a little bit of a dead area in mining that I kind of wanted to go do. While still gaining some Stonemason AFK for a lot cheaper. I was actually considering the 8 level AFK in that little range. Just to speed through that area a little bit. The deadest area right now is definitely around here, though. Biggest issue right now is Platinum ore isn't really good EXP until we can get to granite. I've been doing a different route for carbonese into platinum when I've been grinding it recently. Or I've actually been dropping a lot of the carbonese and just grabbing them for EXP. Or I've been banking like 2 carbonese into 20 platinum into the 2 potions that keep up our inventory. If we ever get a equipable potion, it's kind of what I'm waiting on for it. We can start doing 4 carbonese into 20 platinum. But the other thing I really want to start doing is if they add a equipable potion, we can do 10 platinum ore, then wait on the respawn and do 8 platinum ore, so that's 18 total then, and then do 6 granite, which is exactly 24. And I feel like that would work out the absolute best. But the problem for that is it requires equipable potion to work, as it's exactly 24. So you would either need a potion juggle the whole time, or equipable potion would need to be in the game. Would you say above 200 carp is worth it? Feels like doing 500. I would say it's decently worthwhile. At least if you're doing it with woodcutting. I would not advise doing carpenter only with no woodcutting. Carpenter is only really good if you're doing them both together. It's really similar to mining smithing or mining stonemason, where, you know, you kind of have to do them together. Like, carpenter on its own without doing woodcutting is really, really bad, as you burn money the entire time. But combining them both together, you both profit gold and free resources that you don't need to buy later. It just takes a lot longer since you have to do the woodcutting component. There we go. Right on together with you. Yeah, there goes our only 7%. Only got like 80 or so left. Don't know. Gonna hit 0 soon. Well, so hopefully this gets there in time. I didn't put that into calculation, but this potion might actually expire before this meter gets up. That'd be bad if so. Go, go, go! Get knowledge quicker! I forgot. I thought it was like 1% XP each time. It's actually a little less than that. I think we'll be fine. We're barely going to make it in time, though, but we should make it in time. You don't care for the money? Well, Carpenter to 500 is really expensive, especially if you're banking it all. Even if you're selling, I think you're losing more than 50% of your cash stack. Like, Carpenter is mega negative. It's not like Leatherworker, where you could train it all the way to 500 and still profit. Even without Merchant. Carpenter is nothing like that. Like, I think it's as costly, if not more costly, than Alchemy if you were to sell everything. You know, if you were to buy all logs and then sell all carpentry supplies. Plus, then you also wouldn't have any carpentry supplies. It is really expensive. Oh no, are we not going to make it? Come on, you got this. Go, 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 go. Meter, move quicker. Go, 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 go. Oh, it's going to be so tight if we do end up getting it. Come on, carp, quicker. Oh, I don't think we're making it. He needs to do that like 4 more times. Come on. Alright, 1 more time. There's no way we make that. Yeah, we can't. I would have to do it within 2 seconds. Yep, and I can't even because it's not there. No! That's fine. I only got 1 dip on the 7%. A little unfortunate since we're running low on them, but it's not that big a deal. At this point, I guess we're just saving it for Forge or Chef or something. Or when we get back into Chapter 1. Which will work out great because we'll have both of them back to back and then we can just take the venture in about 2 hours then. Should work out perfectly. But it's assuming that will take 2 hours. It might actually take less time than that. Okay, so far we've done 2 skills. We're adding an extra one. And then we have 2 more skills. They shouldn't take that long. Like, cooking contracts alone's already getting that up. That's like 3/4 the way there already. But yeah, I have been banking pretty much all of my supplies while doing carpentry now. We're at a level range where it's worthwhile. And the reason why I'm doing that, if we go check the shop, for example, I just banked tier 5 hickory pole. And we just got all those for free. They cost 12.7 each if you want to buy them. This is the exact thing we just banked. They are 12.7 silver each. And you would still have to walk the same distance if you were to buy it from him. So yeah, that's why we've been running them. They are so absurdly expensive. Like, astronomically so. How many more inventories do we need for this? We're getting, like, 4k per this. And then we're getting, like, 1 point something for that. So we're getting about 5k per each per inventory. So about as much as we would cut them for. I think it's actually closer to 6k probably. We should be getting slightly more carpentry XP than how many woodcutting XP we got. Though maybe not because of the tool upgrades. I forgot about that. Yeah, we're getting about 5 per k each, it looks like. Let's see the exact number once we get the 3.9 is the other one. We're getting slightly better than 5k each. Which means, what is that then? Like about 4 more inventories after this. It's only 11 at a time as well. This is even like a full inventory. Or, you know, it isn't. Because we can only do 11 or 12 at a time. Which, of course, is how much you can fit in a woodcutting inventory. So one inventory of carpentry is actually half as much as one woodcutting inventory. As far as how many items fit in your inventory, because you get double each time. Alright, so what we're getting 3.9k, and what are we getting here? Keep in mind it's 5% boosted. So let's say 1.8. So yeah, we're getting, what did I say the other one was already? I already forgot, wow. But yeah, it's like a 6 point something. That's not bad. Which means, yeah, 3 more inventories? Should get us there. I need to do partial of a 4th. And we can move on to Forager. And by then, our cooking contract should be ready too, so I might even go do some cooking contracts. I don't have any to Sentry or Scrap Merchant at the moment, though, but that's fine. Those would be ideal, because that's exactly where we need to go do Forager. So if we can get a lot of Sentry, Scrap Merchant, a little Lucy on the next run, that'd be very, very nice. Though RNG will decide that for us. It's unfortunate we have no choice on where we turn it on. But ideally, we want to see Big Sheen, Little Lucy, Scrap Merchant, and Sentinel. As they're all the better value ones, and they're all on the path we have to go take anyways to go head over to Forager. I really do need to go lock down that 209 Forager. The main reason I'm not in as big of a rush to get it is I can't really fully utilize it until level 235 Fisher. Because that's when we could do COD plus Rack. But once we get to COD plus Rack, we'll see how that goes. So what am I doing? I'm doing it as if I'm on Steam Deck. Because normally when I have KDs on Steam Deck, I don't bother switching the button. So I just end up clicking on it twice. But it's way quicker just to right-click and then deposit all. But how I normally play Steam Deck, that's a lot more annoying to do, so I just do 2 clicks and do it slower. But you should always be right-click depositing all instead of clicking on it twice. A lot quicker that way. I'm just used doing out of habit because I'm so used to doing Carpenter on Steam Deck. Because honestly, in the last, like, few months, like, since we had a Steam Deck, I want to say 95% of the carpentry we've done have all been off-stream. It's one of the few rare circumstances where we're doing on-stream. But a good 90-95% of it has been off-stream. Oh yeah, we do get access to a good AFK here, by the way, after we get to 224. It's actually so good that we might consider doing it here and there. At least until we get to 233 where it falls off. For the same reason why we're going to be doing the woodcutting thing from 225 to Bramble. It just helps us get rid of some of the dead zone that we otherwise would have. It's actually way better to do it for Carpenter than it is for woodcutting, but I still want to do the woodcutting just to kind of catch it up a little. One nice thing about woodcutting, though, is the extra bonus. 30% is a lot of extra bonus. Whereas while the Carpenter XP is nice, we're getting 0% extra bonus on it. Other than a passive potion that we might use. Actually, that's something I'm considering with the thing, too. The little bit of 8% passive potion we got to go make for Hope Forest. I'm considering using that on this carpentry right here. It's one of the other reasons I want to do it. is I want to cash in every 8% we have on this right here from 224 to 233. Every 8% that we make from this alchemy level, however many we need to do of this for whatever we're trying to do. Not sure exactly what level we're really looking for. But however many I do of this, I want to use 100% of it on this AFK right here from 224 to 233. We might still have spears after that, but we could just put it on something else after that. It's not that big a deal. But for that entire level range, I want to be 8% potted off of the grind we already have to do on alchemy anyways. Oh, hello, MK Jets. Welcome, welcome. So I want to get this set up for when we do inevitably do that. But it does mean we're locked out of carpentry after today for quite a while. In all fairness, we have all the supplies we need for quite a while, so it's not too big a deal. But we are basically locked out of carpentry for the same reason we're locked out of stonemason. Actually, maybe not the same reason, but for a similar reason. In the case of stonemason, I literally have no way of training unless we buy from shops or dump knowledge on it. In the case of carpenter, it's because it's more efficient to wait until we have better synergy. And not waste a bunch of stuff when we have a good passive. Because there are some skills where you have a good passive or a bad passive at a given time. That's my biggest issue with stonemason right now, is we're currently on a bad passive, not a good passive. What I mean by that is it is a skill that has passives that are either burning money or making money. And ideally, you want to try to avoid doing the burning money ones. For something like smithing, this doesn't matter because every single one burns money. So it doesn't really matter if you're burning money because you're always burning money. So it doesn't really matter if you're burning on this one or this one or this one because you never reach a point where you don't burn money. But there's a lot of skills where it's varied. Like carpenter, where you like burn money, but then when you build an actual stool or something else like that, you actually make money. So those are when you actually want to do the passive activities. And there are quite a few that are set up like this. And aside from carpenter, stonemason is the same way. Where you have a lot of these dead ones where you pretty much never really want to do it, like our current limestone bowl. But then the second when we get to 240, we would want to start doing it again if we need a little bit more XP. As instead of making negative money, we would be making positive money while still getting even better XP rate. So I'm pretty sure it's the last inventory we got to do for now. And that'll be our third level this stream then. Yeah, this is definitely our last inventory. We'll finish the whole thing. And then after that, what's our next target then? I guess check our cooking bounties and head to Forger. Go get our Forger level real quick. Probably gonna do it off a potato. Actually, what is my route gonna be? Honestly, I think I might just do potato while killing the plants. I'm feeling a little bit of combat. And while it's not the best XP rate we could be getting, it's not awful. I wish it was way better, but it's not awful. And I highly doubt it's that crowded today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll find out. Let's hope it's not that crowded. Because there's two ways we could do it. We could do it off a Here Beast, or we could do it off of a plant. Here Beast has slightly better XP. Or it has slightly worse combat XP, but better foraging XP. Whereas Carnivorous Plant is the other way around. Where it has better, foraging XP, but worse combat XP. I mean, sorry, it has better combat XP, but worse forager. And here Beast is better forager, but worse, combat. I guess the whole striping system. That system is still really weird. I don't hate it, but I still kind of preferred the chapter divides. I feel like long-term, this is going to be fine, like with bossing and everything else. I feel like in the short term, the striping system is a little clunky, though. As it gets rid of a lot of diversity of what you originally had to kill, and there was already so little to kill. And now there's even less that you can kill at a given time. That's the only thing I don't like about it in the short term. In the long term, that's not going to matter because it's going to be bossing and stuff like that. And everything else. But in the short term, it makes it a little awkward as far as what it restricts you from being able to kill. It's one of the main things I always hate about Slayer in old school RuneScape. Is it just forces you a lot of times to kill things that you really shouldn't be killing if you wanted efficient XP. And a lot of times you just have to do it. And that's what the striping system feels like. There's just a lot of times where it forces you to kill something that you really don't want to be killing. Compared to stuff that you do want to be killing. Let's go check our chef bounties. Not sure if we're going to turn any in, though. But if any of them are going down the far road, we can turn them in for free since we're going there anyways. Anything like Scrap Merchant, Sentinel, Little Lucy, even Big Sheen are all in that general path. Let's see. Come on, every single one that's good. What do we get? Scrap Merchant, I guess. Everything else, not that worth. Maybe I'll take this for later, I guess, if we get a good pathing for it. Same as this. Alright, the only one I can turn in right now is, Scrap Merchant. Oh, that's not what I want to do. If you do it from your inventory, it doesn't close the menu. But yeah, I need to get to 237 Chef or whatever it is before I run out of my 326 mana raise. It's not too big a deal if it doesn't happen exactly at that time. But if I don't have level 300 or 234 Chef by then, and we run out of mana raise, it is not worth buying more mana raise. So we're kind of out of luck. We just have to skip every task unless it's like a really small one or something. Alright, let's go get our Hope Port potions. Still not sure which one I want to go do for my foraging level though. I'll figure something out by the time we get there. I did not want that many. Even that's overkill. I do have to say, the temptation of putting this into Chef, really high. Same as Forager. Hey, how much do we need for the next thing? 2 hours. We're basically Hope Port locked for the next 2 hours, honestly. You know what I kind of want to go do? I kind of want to go for double Forager level. The next Forager level is so close. I think the compromise is I throw all knowledge into Forager as we do Forager. And just get Chef up through the bounties and everything. Like this one we're about to turn in right now. Alright, I gotta decide. Which one are we taking? Are we doing combat or are we doing Nettle? Nettles are better XP and makes a 10% potion. The other thing saves us money when we do Chef. But it makes a really weird dish that we're probably not doing a lot of. And I already have like 1,000 something banked. However, however many I have banked is like the permanent amount I'm ever going to have banked. I don't know, let's see what the XP drop difference is. Let me go check something. How much worse is a thing right now? How do I check your XP? 126k. Let's see what this exact number is by the time we kill it. If the other thing's like 120-ish k, we're killing that. Let's see what the number comes out to. So this guy says he's doing 126k. Let's see his exact number. Oh, it's 5% boosted. Well, that's fine. 132k then. That's fine. Let's see what this is. See your base value and see what it is after the bonus. Why is that so much lower? He's only like 10, 20 levels lower. What is that? What am I looking at? What? Why? And are we killing him that much quicker? Doesn't feel like he's dying that much quicker, is he? Hard to tell. What is that level difference? That's over 30k worse. It's like 33k worse for like 20 or 30 levels. No, look at this. They're right next to each other. It is already a 33k difference. I was thinking they were like several down or something. No, this is one enemy down. They were dying really quick though. Like really quick. Alright, this might not be the way to do it then. As good as this triple blood nettle spot is, that is not a lot of HP. Like at all. Even if they are dying somewhat quick. But yeah, the new striping system's kind of weird. Like, we're right here at this Viper. And killing an enemy 3 down is already ultra dead content. And killing an enemy 2 down is also decently bad. Yeah, Detective Santa's here. With his big blue weapon. If only we had one. I probably should make one at some point. I was waiting until we got the crafting level for it for smithing. And then just downgrade it. I just have to go out of my way and make a normal one, though. In case we ever want to fight something blue weak. I guess we have the rapier for that, but last I checked, we actually get better DPS with the 2-hand. Mostly because it's 4-star. But also because 2-hands have more damage. And exploiting elemental weaknesses wasn't enough comparatively. The only nice thing about this is we never need to worry about dying. Like, unless we actively try, we should never die against a hero beast. We should never die against a carnivorous plant. If we went back to outlaw, honestly, I think we would never die either. It's only a viper and above where we could die. The problem is if we kill anything viper or below, or anything below viper, we're getting less XP. Even this thing is like even something 1 enemy down, like the outlaw, which is just 8 levels down, 1 enemy down. We're already getting like minus 10, 20% for this thing already. Like we're getting like 10% less compared to if we were fighting at 872. It's actually crazy how rapidly it goes down. Like how immediately you're punished for not moving forward. I'm hoping after skill tree and special attacks that kind of changes. Not because the system would change, but because it's way easier to kill things above you. Like we're at 880 now. And we can just barely kill the Viper. Like conveniently. But I'm hoping that down the line it'll be more of a kind of situation where we could be fighting like the Stricken right now, or even the Wendigo right now. Between special attacks, optimizing skill tree, and everything else. Like it might be a lot easier to kill ahead of you. And then you don't need to worry about the penalty like it is now. At least not to the same degree that you do now. I just realized I'm about to over-encumber my XP, that's a problem. I forgot, we got a passive activity to go unlocked. Never mind, this isn't a problem anymore. I completely forgot about that. Never mind, problem solved itself. Also, how much is a periwinkle? Because there's another angle we could be doing for Forager right now that incorporates no combat. I'm gonna check something with alchemy, which I should probably just open the alchemy tab then. How much is a periwinkle? 6.6. Okay, I think we might do plan B. I want to see something. These are giving 4.8. I think we're pulling out plan B. At this point, plan C. Plan A was doing what we're doing right now. Plan B was the what you call it? The hair beast. But we're at plan C now. I think I'm going to try doing the shells on the beach. The main reason I wasn't doing it is I had exactly enough periwinkle. However, yeah, let's just ignore that. And just buy them from the shop. Like 6.4 is honestly not that bad. Let me go see. What is the EXP rate for, or EXP drop per each? Because these are really close to a bank. Like absurdly so. And are still boosted by our trowel. 4.3? Yeah, this is gonna be better. I think we have to camp these all the way to 209 then. Alright, plan unlocked. Where's those seashells at the seashore? Also, I needed a few more kelp anyway, so this kind of works out. I think I need like 76 more kelp. And the way that we're doing this, I believe I can grab 2 kelp for free every time. There's also time to grab the drop the bass if we really want to, though we don't need drop the bass anymore. We actually just got past the cooking level where you need it. But I believe I can grab 2 to 3 kelp every time for free. Probably these 2. Can you grab all 3 for free? I don't think you can. I think by the time I walk here, it respawns. Or not. Oh, yeah, maybe you can grab 3 kelp for free. But yeah, it seems like you can do 6 shell, 3 kelp. What does that do to our inventory, though? Given the situation here. Let's see. That'd be 9, which would be 18. What if on final cycle you only grab the 6 then? What does that come out to be? So it'd be 996, which is 24. There's a problem with that. Potions aren't equipable. That would be perfect if, you know, if that one mechanic existed. You know, the equipable potion thing. If only. But yes, 996 would work perfectly if and only if equipable potion was already in the game. This guy's called Big Sheen, like the guy in the place. Is funny. I wonder if his visual set up the same. I think it is. We're as closest to it as you can. Alright, so what kind of weird inventory mix are we going to be doing here? Yeah, grabbing 3 kelp in theory would work. The problem is I would have to double drop my potion every time. But then we'd be able to do 6 kelp, and then the rest is shell. And we should just be able to pot right here, grab that, perfect. Yeah, that works perfectly. If and only if you could equip potions, it is a perfect cycle. There's one problem with that, though. There's a certain feature that's missing from that equation, currently. But yes, if you had no potions on you, it'd be perfect cycle. And you just drink the potion and then you're good to go. Alright, we're just gonna have to juggle the potions, I guess. Which is kind of annoying, but kind of needed. As the method we're doing right now requires exactly 24 inventory. But hey, if nothing else, this will be a bunch of 8% potions for later. And they're pretty cheap to go buy. The periwinkle for the other side, the ingredients only like 6.6 silver, even after the price hike. That's not like mega cheap, but when you compare it to the alternative of buying like a 6%, that's basically free. I forgot how much a 6% is for Hopeport, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 6.5 silver. And one other thing this gets to is the other heal potion. This makes the second best healing potion in the game. It was previously 32%, but is now, I think, 40% or something? Yeah, it's now a 40% potion. Is the most amount of healing you can make per hour. I forget how much that one is if you buy the other ingredient. But hey, we got a wiki. So the shells that we're getting, it'll be 6.7, you could say. And for the healing potion, it would cost 6.8. Alright, that's pretty nice. One is around 6 silver, one's around 7 silver. That's not bad. I just buy them from the shop then. That's not too expensive for the second best healing potion in the game and the second best XP pot for this chapter. If only we didn't have to juggle the potion. Also, I'm not sure why I have the 10% there. I could actually go put that up. We're not going to need that 10% for a while. Since I still need to go finish the AFK activity for what do you call it? The stool. Because how much knowledge points do I have? Yeah, I still need 2 more. So our next 2 knowledge points go into it, plus I would have to delay. So I basically need 4 more knowledge points before I would need a knowledge point. Oh no, if we're going for 209 right now, I guess we will need it. You just don't need it for like the next half an hour or so. No, he moved right on my tile. I needed that tile. But yeah, we're going to go for 2 foraging levels. I was originally only going to do 1, but we're so close to the first one that this will finally bring us to our rack goal. So whenever we need racks to be operational, we're good to go. I won't be doing them immediately, because we still have a lot of 10% potions left. But once we get level 235 Fisher over the next, like, week and a half, pretty much for free while doing the venture, because we're gaining a level basically every other day from this double venture. But once we have that done by the end of the month, is when we finally go get all of our racks. Because I want to do COD rack. I just do some kind of banking mix where we do a combination of both. I'm not sure the exact method we'll be doing when we do it. But we're going to be doing some kind of method of COD rack. The exact iteration of which is still to be determined. We'll figure something out when we get there. But I need 235 Fisher and 209 Forger to do it. So 1 more foraging level and basically ignoring Fisher for about the next 2 weeks or less. But after we do both those things, we set up properly for it. The only problem is I don't really need the COD for a while. The racks I need immediately. But the COD that we get from that, we actually don't need for a very long time. As it's not used until, whatever this level was. Not that one. It's not used until 259 Chef. Which, unless we go really crazy with vegetable stews all of a sudden, we are not getting anytime soon. Unless we really go stew heavy for, like, multiple days in a row. Doing nothing but stew all day, every day for several days. If that was to happen, then yes, that's right around the corner. As long as that doesn't happen, then we don't need to worry about that for a while. Would you suggest to only edge flint? Or also make shields to sell? Oh, you mean etch. I've been keeping all my 3 stars recently. So if you have the bank space for it, it's probably fine to make stuff out of it. It just feels really worthwhile, especially if you're enabling trading. Like if you're an Iron Man, or if you're planning to stay Iron Man and go into doing a bunch of combat, then they're worth keeping as well. But if you're enabling trading, regardless if you're planning to do combat or not do combat, It's probably important to start saving literally every 3-star above level 800. Like every single one you ever get. Maybe even some of your 4-star stuff, it's like really good roll. Oh, what am I doing? I need all of them. But yeah, I've been starting to make a lot more product from all my production stuff. I should try to cash it in at our level ranges that we're at. But also for weapons down the line for when we eventually do the like 1000 combat grind, the 1200 combat grind, whatever we're going for. Not sure ultimately what our end goal will be for that though. As badly as I want to get 2500 combat, that is such an absurdly long grind. Like we're talking like 3+ months in a row of nothing but combat. My biggest concern with going really ultra heavy in combat at any time is what happens when they add bossing and those bosses have EXP drops on them. Imagine getting 0 EXP drops every time you kill a boss. It's gonna feel so bad. Like every kill where you don't get good loot is just nothing. That's my biggest concern with going too crazy on combat early on. Because we're probably gonna max multiple times over just from all the bossing in the game down the line. Oh yeah, if you're making 30k stuff, yeah, you won't be able to keep every 3-star from that. I don't know, I personally kept quite a bit of mine just in case they're used for armor maker. While we do see things that are currently in the game that would indicate that Delver will be giving you material for making bone right armor, we don't quite know at this exact moment in time with 100% confirmation how exactly you make the other 2 armors. Because there is a small chance that stonemason armor uses etched stones, and that cryonite armor uses smithed bars. Because from what you can tell, it looks like Bonerite will use a material from Delver. So you'll simply just be able to get it off of Delver then. But we don't quite know how the other 2 will work. And there is a small chance that stonemason armor uses etched stones and smithed bars for cryonite then. So I've been trying to save a lot of them if I can, just in case they are. As getting armor maker pretty high is going to be pretty important. It's not as important as your weapon making skill, but you would definitely need it for some things. Most notably PvP and bossing in the future. For general combat right now, obviously you don't need it. Like, we can survive right now without it in the game. However, there is content where you basically will require wearing 4-star equipment. And that will likely be bossing, raids, and PvP. All 3 of which do not exist at the moment. But R2 will eventually exist to some capacity. But for everything that's currently in the game, honestly, you could rock 1-star armor and probably be fine. Especially after skill tree and everything. So armor maker in the short term is kind of irrelevant, but in the long term is probably just as good as a weapon making skill. In the ultra long term. When defense actually matters. Because right now DPS is like the only thing that matters at all. It's not to say you should have no armor on, but you know. Like having a 4-star weapon matters a lot more than having like full 3-star armor. Oh, I highly advise not selling etched flint. You should definitely make it into product if you're going to do anything with it. The only situation I could ever see the etched version being sold is if you're doing it to player trading. Because there are some chances that some of them will be worth more. Particularly for lower material. Or the etched version would be worth more than the non-etched. Oh, you meant once player trading comes out? Oh yeah, that would work. The only downside to that is high level ones are probably going to be worth less. Like, there's a good chance that tier 6 flint that isn't etched is worth more than tier 6 flint that is etched. That will be different at different level ranges, though. For example, something like tier 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 flint is going to be worth more etched than non-etched. But the really high ones are probably going to be worth less. And the main reason for that is because they're really good EXP. Whereas tier 1 flint, for example, has like almost no range, which is good EXP. Like such a short duration before you never need to do it again. Like, there's a world where tier 1 flint is more expensive than tier 3. Like, tier 1 etch flint. But no, when it comes to the higher rarity stuff, we don't really know exactly how much it's going to be when it is put into account EXP. Potion making can be kind of similar, too. We don't really know exactly what the range for a lot of potions are going to be. Because we don't know what the economy will consider the EXP gains as far as value. Like how much that will devalue an item. That's something we won't really know until day 1, week 1, month 1 of trading. But there are a lot of skills that are like that. And one of the more noteworthy ones are the production skills where you dunk the bones and etch the stone and everything. Where tier 5 and 6 fully processed, or, you know, made into the final form that's ready to be processed, might be worth less just because it's already had its EXP claimed. I think one of the easiest examples of that to mention as far as the other game, you know the one, but in old school RuneScape, I think the best example is the difference between uncut gems and cut gems. While in theory, cut gems are supposed to be worth more, because they are worth more, they're actually worth less on the Grand Exchange, because the EXP from them has already been claimed. And I feel like the same situation is going to happen with really high tier etched stone and smithed bars and stuff. Because half their XP, or the better half of the XP, has already been claimed. And the slower half hasn't been claimed yet. But you already claimed the better half of it, so it might devalue the object. Because the better part of the XP was already claimed. Well, not necessarily better, but you know. Like half the XP of the object was already claimed instead of getting the whole amount of XP from the object. Which could end up devaluing the item by some amount. We just don't know what that percent's going to be. Oh, I forgot. These things can't work on foraging objects anymore. I was wondering why he stopped. But yeah, they did that update like a month or two ago. I just haven't done that much foraging since then. But they did an update a couple months ago. Like 2 months ago. Where enemies will no longer walk on top of foraging or gather objects. Unfortunately, they still do it for detective. But the other two ground objects, they don't. And assumably Delver when it comes out. Hopefully. But they did the update a little while back. But they haven't retroactively done it for every skill yet, so they might still have to redo it to Delver. And they still haven't done it to Detective yet. But for Forager and Gatherer, any object that's on the ground, units will no longer walk over. They just forgot to do it for the other skills that are also like that. They only applied it to 2 of them. But at some point, I'll remember to do the other ones. Gosh, I hate this place's storage rift. I wish this fence was not here. This is more annoying than that one fence in Chronopolis. It always wants to block the leather working one. Which could be really annoying because we're going to be AFKing that a lot soon. Which is always that one wall that wants to block it. And Hopeport has the same issue. Where that one wall right there always wants to block the storage rift depending on your camera angle. But yeah, the game plan at this point is get one more Forager level and one more Chef level done. We already got all the other levels by this point. So technically 2 Forager levels. That's fine. I just really want to get 209 already done so we don't need to worry about it later. That way if I do dump any EXP with a 10% in Hope port later, it's going to be into Chef. Just so we can start pushing 217. This 217 is very important unlock. So much so I'm even considering pivoting tomorrow into making that our goal. And by that, make it our goal, I mean to go get 224 Gatherer tomorrow. Which should hopefully also get us a woodcutting level, so we'll have 210 woodcutting. Because right now I'm trying to work to 210 all. But I do want to get 217 chef so we can get the better bounties. And also so we can AFK chef whenever we feel like it down the line. It's nice to have that as an option. Doesn't mean we'll do it a lot, but to have the option of just walking in there with a whole inventory of stew and getting like best in slot XP rate is really good. It's something we haven't been able to do for a very long time, and we can start doing again at 217. It falls off a bit by like 250-ish, but you could still do it then if you really had to. You were right, the shields was bugged. Yeah, they fixed the bug with shields the other day. They fixed that a couple days ago. It's actually kind of funny. They fixed it literally the day after you mentioned it. Samuel's lurking. I still haven't seen a single Samuel stream. He's also never stopped by here, I don't believe. Though in all fairness, I don't think I've seen a single person from Twitch ever stop by to stream. Like as far as people who stream on Twitch. I'm not sure about that though. Because not everyone like announces that, obviously. But most of the people from YouTube we've seen stop at least once. Like Valerie, Tell, Brighter Shore Central quite a few times. It's kind of funny. Brighter Shore Central actually stopped by even before the game came out. During one of our old school RuneScape streams, like the last one we did before Brighter Shores, the title had something about like final old school RuneScape stream before Brighter Shores comes out. And because it had the word Brighter Shores in it, Brighter Shore Central actually stopped by. It was kind of funny. Yeah, we will be starting old school RuneScape up soonish again. I kind of want to start prepping for sailing. I think Jimmy as a bot just posted a video kind of going over it a little bit. Based on a podcast that was done by someone who does a bunch of podcasts for the game. I forget his name. I think Sebe was his name. I've seen some of his stuff occasionally. But, long story short, yeah, sailing's around the corner. They announced that at RuneFest like a couple weeks ago, and I kind of want to start prepping for it. My plan is to get 200 mil sailing on a hardcore. There's one of the only few that you can realistically go for. There are a few that you can still do, like 200 mil wood cutting. Which, with how dry we're going on Beaver, might actually happen without even trying. Because honestly, the first thing I'm going to do when we get membership back, and hopefully it doesn't burn me out again, is I'm going to keep trying going for Beaver. And if we somehow go over 100 million XP without getting Beaver, I'm just going to get 200 mil. I don't care at that point. We're just going to lock in top 25, 200 mil for woodcutting. Because there's still top pages 8 years later that have still not been taken for Ironman players. Mostly because they die before they ever get there, normally. So there's a lot of spots still open. Not for every skill. Like some of the really easy ones like fire making, thieving and stuff have already been taken. But there's still a lot of them you could take. Woodcutting being the most realistic one due to how dry I've been on Beaver. Basically, if I just do what I already did, like 2.5 times over, or technically 1.5 times over, I basically have to grind as much as we already did and another half of that. And we would make top 25 leaderboard for woodcutting. Which I've never actually done ever in that game. I've never 200 milled a skill ever. But because woodcutting is technically one of my favorite skills, I'm considering it. Watch, we're still not going to have Beaver by then. It's going to happen, and we're still not going to have Beaver somehow. But then we could just make the excuse that we're doing it because we still don't have Beaver. Which is the reason why we're doing it now. But honestly, if it goes over 100 mil, I think we're like 83 mil or something right now. If it goes over 100 mil, I'm just going to 200 mil at that point. It's still AFK anyways. It's like 5 minutes AFK for one click and infinitely repeatable. Without ever having to reset. You also get infinite arrows for the rest of time. Like literally for the rest of time. Like, we could play that game for another 10 years and we will still not run out of arrows on that account. But how many we would get from woodcutting. But yeah, I do plan to get 200 mil sailing. Definitely 99 rush initially, just so we can go get max keep back, because I need that. I can't live without a max cape. I'm not sure how I'll survive without one. But beyond that, yeah, we're also going to end up needing it for just like a nice AFK activity. We just do it all the way to 200 mil. I don't plan to be the first person, because I'm definitely going to be doing the more AFK route. But I never really tried for leaderboards before in that game. At least not directly for a skill like that, so it's like, you know what, might as well. It's one thing that I've actually kind of enjoyed with the Brighter Shores thing, since all the leaderboards are a lot more doable in this game. Since the player base is quite a bit smaller. So there's not like 1,000 people trying to race you for one single rank. I kind of like the whole like up and down thing. Oh, we're catching up on Vitez. Falling behind on Shuriken, though. We saw them earlier today. The Shuriken's going crazy on leveling. I have no clue what they're doing. But whatever they're doing, they're gaining a lot of levels. All three of us were basically tied for the longest time. And Shuriken's just been skyrocketing comparatively. I've been playing the least out of the three of us, apparently. But my playtime has gone down a little bit, which is weird. I think it's mostly because I've been doing more AFK methods. Like, you know, active AFK. Because if I go check my playtime right now... yeah, we're still doing like 12 hours a day. It's just a lot more of those 12 hours per day are way more AFK than they've been in the past. So even though it's about the same amount of playtime, the time that we are playing is a lot less efficient lately. Like when we're streaming like this, we're normally on top of things constantly. But off stream, I've gotten a lot slackier with how we've been grinding. Like I still have been grinding for the same amount of time, but the efficiency of how we've been grinding off stream has definitely plummeted. Just to multitask other things more. Because at this point, this has been generally off stream. I've been playing this almost like third monitor content, not even second monitor content. Or obviously when we do it on stream, it's first monitor content. We're just completely locked in, going almost like tick perfectly. Oh, we still need one more carpenter level, don't we? Oh no, we got it already. Nice. Never mind. Okay, good. We're done with dumping into carpenter. So we'll go dump that into chef instead then. So we probably don't even need to go out of our way at all to do chef, other than go do another bounty set when the next hour hits. You know, go do like a cooking run. Probably to South Wall based on where it's trying to bring us. South Wall and South Wall. I wonder what direction we need to go. It seems to be hinting somewheres. So we'll probably run an eastern path to South Wall then for our next run. And it's probably the last cooking bounty set we need to get in. Because the rest will just be knowledge dumped. I could always still dump some of it into Forager though if we want to. I think at this point it's better put into Chef. Yeah, I definitely don't want to put it into Forager at all once we hit 209. Up to 209 it would be fine, but after 209 I want to start doing COD rack. Which I've never actually done at any level range before. Mostly because the first time it's worth it is at 209 rack and 235 COD. The only other time you could do it is if you had a really weird distribution. You could do 178 COD with 209 rack. But it's very unlikely you would have that level distribution at a given time if you were going kind of even. There are definitely some people in that category. But I don't feel like that happens as often compared to reaching this COD at 209 rack. But you can also do 178 COD at 209 rack. Because those things are already worth 10 silver each. I wonder how much this one is. It has to be more than 10. Because the one at 178 is already worth 10. So this thing would have to be worth at least like 11-ish, 12-ish. Because even the lower level one's already 10 each, which is the same as the rack. Which means technically when we go do that at 235, the COD will be worth more than the rack. Even though the main reason we're doing it is to gather the racks, not the CODs. Which is kind of ironic. The rack is worth less, but the reason we're doing it is for the rack. The COD is just secondary. But that's not always going to be the case. Because once we get about 1,500 racks, we pretty much never need another rack again. Unless we run out of 10% pots, in which case, maybe. But at that point, I would only make 10% pots if we needed it for knowledge point. But even then, if trading's out by then, which it likely would be, because we're talking like, you know, months ahead at this point, we could just buy them from players. How much could they possibly be? Like 20 silver, 30 silver? Like, they can't be that much money. The question is, are they worth buying at that price, is the question. But I don't see a world where they're more than 30 silver each. Unless endgame players are really desperate for buying just every single 10% pot in the game. There's going to be like a 10% hoarder who's going to have like a million 10% pots of every pot in the game. There's going to be someone who's going to do that. Someone who has like multiple platinum right now is just going to buy every 10% pot for the rest of time. And then price hike the entire market by like 10 or 20%. I wonder if they're going to do any actions to try to stop stuff like that. Like manipulation of the market. Where you buy up literally the entire supply, and then since you own basically the whole supply, you upcharge like 10-20%. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be nothing in the game to stop market manipulation. Or you basically hold a monopoly on an item. Where you own like 70, 80, 90% of all of them in the game. It is one thing that's going to be weird if we ever do get into bossing and have trading enabled. Is I haven't actually played a game that has had like an open economy like that in such a while, because I always play Iron Man modes. Because then you have to have the cost evaluation of every healing option. There's one problem with that is I always feel bad ever clicking a healing option or any potion or anything like that. Because I always think about it as how much money we're losing per click. Rather than just using it. Because on an Iron Man account, it's like you have no other purpose for it, so you have to use it. So the value of it is simply just use it when it's good to use it. But if you have access to trading, it's like, oh, I need to cost evaluate if it's better to use something weaker or to sell it and buy something weaker or whatever else. Or even upgrade from whatever we have to something else if it's cheaper. Because on an Iron Man account, it's like, oh yeah, this item does this, I'm just going to use it then. Because there's no other purpose for it other than to use it for its intended purpose. When you have access to trading, it's like, oh, now I need to go cost evaluate every single resource I ever touch on if I should consume it or not. But yeah, I'm still leaning on enabling trading when trading does come out. I've still been up on the air on that, like back and forth constantly. But I do feel like I will enable trading for Brighter Shores. Just because by the time trading comes out, we're already going to have over 2,000 hours in Iron Man mode. I feel like we've given it a fair shot at this point. It's time to de-iron. I feel like I would do the same thing if I ever made another hardcore for old school RuneScape. Because I have one max hardcore now, which I will keep as an Iron Man forever, even if it dies. However, if I made a second hardcore, and that one died, honestly, it's getting de-ironed instantly. Most likely. Unless we're doing some kind of series for it where it has to stay in Iron Man. But if I'm just playing it in my own time, and I make like a second or a third hardcore and that thing dies, it is instantly being de-ironed. Like the second it dies, it's going from hardcore to normal account. Honestly, I think I will actually do a poll on that tomorrow. If we were to hypothetically start our first ever video series for a game, which would be old school RuneScape if we did, like what account type we should do it for, or if it should just be guide videos and not really a series. It's something I've been wanting to do for like a long time now. Which is like, game is such a time commitment though. Like, you think Brighter Shores takes a while, we already have like almost 2,000 hours in it. Like in old school RuneScape, 2,000 hours just gets you to like mid-game. Like you're generally not even maxed by that point. Unless your only goal was to rush max. Like you're not even at the point where you can start playing the game. Like you're not even out of the tutorial by that point. After like 2,000 hours in. He's leaving Tutorial Island is basically when you go off a max island with a max cape. That is pretty much when you leave Tutorial Island. Is this when you can start playing the game. And not be restricted by, you know, having to level. And it's going to be even harder soon because Sailing is going to be coming out this summer. Or whenever they're doing it. So the goalpost for when you could do that becomes even later. Because you also have to go do 99 Sailing when it comes out. And from what I've heard, it seems like max XP rates are only going to be like 100k per hour. Which is not awful, but it's not like amazingly quick. When max level is like 13 million. And of course, you wouldn't immediately have that XP rate, obviously, at lower level range. You probably wouldn't get it to like level 70 or 80 out of 99. Which, how many hours would that be? Because that's, it's about 200 to 300 hours to max it then. That's not too bad. That's quicker than a 500 in Brighter Shores, that's for sure. Though slower than a 200 in Brighter Shores. Yeah, that means 99 Sailing's around 250 to 300 hours, give or take a little. Maybe slightly more if you're doing really AFK methods. Which I'm not sure if we know the EXP rate for the AFK methods, but if it's around 40k an hour, or at least 30k an hour, I'm hoping it's a little bit more than that. I'm hoping it's closer to 40k. If it is, that isn't too bad, because that means you can AFK max sailing in a month and a half. If you did it in the background for like 10, 15 hours a day. Just constantly clicking in the background. I just hope the AFK time is good, like 5, 10, 20 minutes or something. But if you did it for 10 hours a day for 2 months, you'd probably hit max it then. Without having to do much other than click like 10 to 12 times an hour. Honestly, I do play that game like an idle game these days, whenever I do play. It's like, how AFK can we do absolutely everything? We're a content update? I wish. We need content update. Like, there's still plenty of things to grind for, but gosh, we need new content. But hello, Stefan. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, hopefully soon. Every time I wake up, I just turn on the Steam Deck being like, is today the day they finally do something? And then I look at it, and then I just do other stuff for like an hour because it's like, nope, no update. Guess we'll just do normal morning routine. Honestly, that's been me like the entire last week. Just wake up, check Steam Deck. Any update? Nope. Okay, well, let me just do my normal things then. At some point, there'll be an update there. Half a foraging level and half a cooking level. We're nearly there. And yeah, I think I'm putting this next double meter onto Chef. Just so we can mostly just finish off with contracts, and then we only make like 100 leek pie or something. Which shouldn't take that long. Like a few sets of 24 and we should be good. After we turn in our bounties and throw in double knowledge into it. And then after that, we only have 2 skills we need. Oh, sorry, 3 skills that we need to get to 210 then. Bone Rite, which realistically, we're probably just going to AFK the rest. Like, you know, from passive activity. Like, that's like 2 or 3 nights of doing the passive. So that's basically already done, even though it's not done yet. Forager, we would just have to go do 1 level off a rack. And, what's left? Oh, and woodcutting. Woodcutting we'll probably be doing tomorrow, actually. Because unless there's an update tomorrow, I think the plan is to get 224 Gather. And while we're doing 224 Gather, we're grabbing 1 U-Tree every time. And I believe that U-Tree is about 4k XP each time. Which sounds bad, because it is. But after doing, like, we're taking 2 U-Trees per trip. So we're getting about 8 per inventory. 8k. Which means I would have to do about 300 inventories. If we do 300 inventories of leaks, or however many 216 to 224s while dumping knowledge in together, we would get there. I guess we'll get about a half a level. And then the rest we could kind of do some point later off the hickories that we were just doing earlier. But yeah, that's the game plan for that. Yeah, we'll get about half of a woodcutting level tomorrow. While just training Gatherer to the level we need. And the reason I want to do that is I want to see the total amount of leaks we have by the end. So we can gauge what we need to do for our chef grind. As it'll give us a better idea of how much more XP we need into chef. Because we'll know the total amount that we can get from leek pie. Which is however many leek pies we have minus 1,000, as I want to keep 1,000 for contracts just in case. Because you gotta do the leek pie contract for a while. You don't stop doing it until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until 259 chef. 259 chef is when you stop doing leek pie. That's still another 50 levels of chef that we still have to deal with it. So I want to keep 1,000 just so we have enough for them. I don't want to keep too many, but I think 1,000 is a good number for that. Shouldn't be too many, shouldn't be too little. We'll probably still have a few hundred spears by the end, but I'd rather have a few hundred spears than run out. Alright, now here's the question. Do we use a 5% here or a 7%? I'm pretty sure it's a 5. And by a 5, I mean a 7, I mean 10. I forgot. It's only 10% we have. But yeah, we'll use a 5% here. I don't think we'll get enough knowledge if we use the other one. There's a good knowledge per hour, but not that good. Not like, instantly get it up good. This thing will expire before we get there. It's a lot of knowledge per hour, but not enough to reach that meter in time. I think what we're doing right now is close to like 4.5, 5 an hour or something. Somewhere around there. It's definitely is 4.5 knowledge per hour. Well, we're breaking it down based on 2 minutes though. I do have to say, there is something satisfying about foraging on a beach. I'm not sure if it's just because I'm nostalgic for it, though. Because I know one of the first items I ever forged in any video game was in the OG Animal Crossing game, picking up all the shells from the beach. There's a lot of things that you could forge in that game, but the main one, as far as nature-based foraging, was definitely the shells on the beach. Gosh, how young would I have been when I played that game? Probably like 7? I think it came out in 2001. Or at least the English version of it. I think the Japanese version was like a year or 2 earlier. Oh, look at that. How perfect is that? Right on the dot. We're going to be a little bit weird for our next cycle, but that's fine. Give me that 7%. I mean 10%. I keep calling it 7. Alright. We're putting this in chef. Boom. Boom. Drop. Drop. Alright, what do we need? What do we need? What do we even have? Passive. No, not that. What am I even looking for right now? Oh yeah, EXP total. 1.2 mil. We're getting there. How much do we need for chef? A little over 400k. It's not too bad. Because between our bounties, we're gonna get like 200k more. Which means I only have to run like 3 sets of the sandwich then. You want Animal Crossing with like 50 things to do to make money so bad? Oh gosh, you know what I was doing when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out? Even though a bunch of people were hacking in a bunch of money and everything, I made nearly every tile on my farm, originally into fruit trees. But then when I realized how profitable blue roses and gold roses were, pretty much every tile on my island right now is nothing but blue or gold roses. Like, some of it's decorated, but about 80% of my island are those because they had the best value per tile of anything in the game. So, of course, I made them like every tile on my island. Like, around 80% of my island is nothing but gold and blue roses. As they both made reeves that you could do, or headbands, whatever they were. Whatever one required 10. I think it was reeves. But, yeah, they sold for the best ratio of anything in the game as far as, like, tile per profit. They did the best tile to profit ratio because they only took up 1 tile, and I think when their final product, they made like 1,000 gold each. 10,000 gold per item. But yeah, that was fun. I did what Isabel here on the channel. She's normally around quite a few times for quite a few streams. But yeah, we did that for so much. Like we both got like triple digit millionaire off of doing that. Like if I would have kept playing that game more than like 1,000 hours, I would have had max cash stack off of just doing gold and blue roses. Like literally just off of those, I would have had max cash. I think I got about 1/3 the way there. Have I tried Long Winter? It's a weird mix of Animal Crossing with PvE and PvP. I have not. I've tried a lot of the games in the Harvest Moon-like series. But of course, the most noteworthy one, even though it's not a Harvest Moon series, but it's Harvest Moon inspired, is of course Stardew Valley. I haven't played Stardew Valley since launch year, though. Oddly enough, I think the most viewed video on the channel for some reason is actually something I did one day randomly for Stardew Valley. Not sure why it popped off so hard. Is I really like the mining combat sections that they have. There was one thing that was really done well in the Harvest Moon games, and they also did pretty well in Stardew Valley. Oops, I forgot to grab the 3 kelp. Whoops. I was wondering why we're waiting here doing nothing. I forgot the kelp. At this point, I'm too committed to the respawn. There we go. Oh yeah, Miles, yes. I forget if you answered it the other day. Do you know what time on Thursdays Xenoblade Chronicles X comes out? By any chance? Because I kind of want to go through that entire game in like a week. I want to like start it on Thursday and then finish it on next week's Thursday. Or at least by next week's Friday if it takes a little bit longer. Even if we have to do like 10 hours a day or something. I want to try finishing it out before Brighter Shores and Gems of War does anything too much more in the near future. And if we farm more, we'll just do it off stream. Getting physical, so you don't know about digital? Yeah, I already pre-ordered it digitally for 47 bucks. So I'm already committed on it. Because I don't think you can undo it. No, they do have some kind of new policy thing, so you might be able to, but I wouldn't undo it at this point. No need to. It's just so much cheaper getting it digitally. After tax and everything, I believe it's about $20 cheaper getting it digitally compared to physical. Yeah, I know it's sometimes a weird different time because of localizations. Like sometimes people will set up their Switch to be like a Japanese time zone or whatever else in order to go and, or you know, they'll use like a Japanese eShop to pre-order something so that they can get it like 12 hours earlier. Because there's a weird time zone thing where America sometimes gets it a little bit later, as well as Europe and a few others, compared to if you have like a Japanese localization. Like, normally I wouldn't care about starting something 12 hours earlier. But I do want to try to finish that whole game in a week without overly rushing it. So the earlier we can start, the better. OBS just died. Come back, OBS. Come back. I think it's just back now. I'm sure why I like doing that sometimes. It's kind of funny because my OBS says it has dropped 0 frames, but has also alerted me that it dropped, you know, the stream. So those two things can't possibly be true. Because right now my program says dropped frame 0, 0.0%. Yet it just disconnected for like 5 seconds. But yeah, half a foraging level and we reached max level forager. So where are we holding the max level forager party? As there is basically no relevant content in the rest of Forager. Poor Forager. Maybe we'll get buffed at some point. Maybe Monument will be something other than nothing at some point. Like, that's the only thing that can save Forager at this point, is Monument being something not completely pointless down the line. It's the only thing that can even remotely save the viability of Forager post 200. I feel like 2K might be the magic number for post 200 cooking contract supplies, by the way. 2K? Interesting, thank you. That's good to know. That means I might need more potatoes then. Though in all fairness, I'm probably going to be skipping that contract a little bit. Because I think I only have like 1.4k potato for the next tier potato COD. The one at level 259. So I might want to get a little bit more later. I could technically be doing that now, but I figured we'd get it during combat at some point. Is there still viable even once we hit 209? It just rack would want to be the priority. But if we can multi-skill it with combat later, it's going to be fine. To pick up all the potato and bank them. Like, we're not running out of 1.4k potatoes anytime soon. I can't even use them till 259, so we should be okay. But it's going to be good to know for the other stuff, though. Once we get to it. We're going to do some potato even after rack. Yeah, I plan to as well. I plan to mostly just multi-skill it low. And with the new system, I can even do... it's literally 2 enemies below me. And it's not even worth killing at my level range right now. It's 2 below my current stripe. And it's already dead content. Like, you would think at this level range you'd be able to do it pretty decently. But, nope. I do hope they tweak that a little bit in the future. It is so punishing for doing anything even remotely weaker. Like, it's nearly on top of where we should be, yet it's still so bad. What am I doing? I need to grab the racks. I mean, the kelps. Yeah, the stripe system has been really weird. I feel like once bossing and being able to enhance your weapons further and stuff like that, it'll probably be fine. Like after we get skill tree with weapon proficiency to be able to wield like level 1000 weapon at this level range or 1200 or something similar. While also having special attacks, while also having everything else. Like at that point, it'll probably be fine. But yeah, it's really clunky right now. Because right now, you basically always have to be fighting enemies stronger than you. But in the current state of the game, you don't really have the power to be fighting enemies stronger than you without chugging every health potion in your bank. Because this system is fine as long as you're always moving up. Like, if we were strong enough to kill this 888 or this 896 at this level range, that'd be such good XP. But we aren't right now. Not in the current state of the game. But if we were strong enough to kill, like, this 917 bear at 880, that'd be so good. The problem is we aren't. But down the line, we might be able to be. But in the current state of the game, that's not possible. If we were to try to kill that bear right now, we'd have to use, like, 4 of the healing potion that we get from this thing, from this kelp. Like, we'd basically have to use, like, 4 40% heals. That'd be so expensive per fight. We'd be burning over, like, 20-something silver a fight. Yeah, the biggest issue with the new striping system is multi-skilling is basically dead. Or at least combat multi-skilling. Obviously, 2 skills can still multi-skill, like Fisher into Forager. Like, for example, Rack into COD, which we're going to be doing in the near future. Or eventually 264 Gatherer into 208 Woodcutter also works. Don't have it yet, but it's a good synergy as well. Like, stuff like that still works, but doing a Gathering skill into combat is no longer viable. Unless you're at just, like, the perfect range for this stripe. Which lasts for such a short duration in the current state of the game. Like, in theory, it's still there. It's just the window of opportunity to do it is so small compared to before. Yeah, it's always going to be worth attacking harder mobs. It's just now it punishes you way more for fighting anything that isn't a harder mob. Whereas before, was kind of flexible, where you can go like a little bit lower, a little bit higher was fine. It was still always better to go a little bit higher. But now you basically have to, 100% of the time, always fight higher than you. Fighting lower is penalized so heavily now. Even if it's just like a few levels lower. But skill tree should fix that. Skill tree should have all the power we need to do that effectively. Skill tree, special attacks, all that. It's more so a temporary issue with the current state of the game. That should be resolved by the time combat is fully implemented. It's just right now we have like the EXP scaling as if we already have special attacks and skill tree, while simultaneously not having special attacks or skill tree, which is really clunky. Because I highly doubt they're going to readjust all the EXP for when they do the next combat changes. They're just going to keep it as is and just, you know, make all the improvements with the combat changes. Which effectively just makes combat flat easier compared to now. Hello, Reptile! You're doing overnight combats for now until the next combat update. Very hyped for specs and skill tree. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. Actually, I was doing that for one night just to test out the XP rate and Wealth Potion. But yeah, Wealth Potion, honestly, really solid. The only reason I'm not doing it more is there's so many things I need to be Ave Kane for the long term. But it is pretty good. Wealth Potion plus XP Pop, because they both stack. The main thing that prompted me to do it is the EXP Potion for Chapter 2 is the cheapest out of any of them. And because my combat is currently in Chapter 2, I was messing around with it a little bit one of the other nights. It's actually pretty good. Because we were using a Wealth Potion, a 5% XP Potion, and I believe we were still profiting. I forget what the exact number was off the top of my head. But I believe we were still profiting from it, while being 5% boosted. Alright, we're nearly at our goal. Come on, half a Forager level, you're almost there. I might even split this next meter half into cooking and half into Forager. I'll just go on cooking, we'll see. So I do need to go grab those contracts in the next like 40-ish minutes. So maybe that is a reason to put into Forager. Because ideally we need to be done with Forager before 40 minutes goes by. So that we can double dip our cooking bounty. It's not going to be worth walking all the way back over here just to go reset Forager for like 15 minutes. It'd be better just to double knowledge into it. Hey, that reminds me, when's our daily? 48 minutes from now. That's another factor too. Still gotta go take the fishing venture. Bit of 10% pot. Which unfortunately I don't think is a level, but it's pretty close to one. It's gonna like tease the bar. We're getting like 800, 900k per each. So it's gonna be a little short. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I still need to grab the 5% upgrade soon. I believe we got that level 231 fisher. We get even more XP per day. Yeah, 231 we get a little upgrade thingy. I never bought the fishing rod yet, mostly because it's useless. Though it is max rod, I should probably go get it. But, actually, is that max rod? Does it go up one more time? Never mind, it goes up one more time. But yeah, 231 we get a 5% for oyster. Hey, when do you get the lobster pot one? Or do we already have it? What level does lobster pot max at? Oh, we already have it, never mind. Oh, what level did you get that at then? Oh yeah, how'd you get a pre-200? Interesting. Yeah, we already have the lobster pot 5%. Which is kind of ironic because even though we get it at 176, we can't use it until 331. Go figure. Of course you could if you were doing pre-200 ventures, but we weren't. Yeah, you get it at 176, but you can't use it till 331 effectively. Whereas these are a lot better scaled because you do this at 226 and then 5 levels later you get to use the better one. Also, the only problem with what we just did right now is I gotta buy a lot of periwinkle so we can make 8% out of these. And I gotta go buy a lot of wall plant so we can go make our 40% heals. That's fine, though. They're pretty good potions overall. We do have to go a little bit out of our way for it for slightly worse EXP, but I think it's fine. The amount we save on cost of the items is probably worth it in the end. Even if the EXP rate during is probably not the greatest. I think we're only getting like 1 mil per hour when if we were doing this fear potion, I think it's like 1.6, 1.7 an hour. Though we're burning money on it though. Also, that potion is one we would actually sell back. I'm pretty sure I'm selling back every 15-minute fear. The only reason I kept the 12-minute fears is they had a really good ratio of like sell to keep value. Like the keep value was way better than sell. But for 15-minute fear, they're in a really weird in-between that they're probably just better to sell. If you're an Iron Man player, you'd maybe keep some of them. But if you ever plan on enabling trading, I can't see a situation where you wouldn't just sell every single one of your 15-minute fears. To the shop, not even to other people, just to the shop. Because there's always going to be a way to source other fear potions later down the line. Because a lot of people made 9-minute fears for only 1 silver each. So you could probably pick up a lot of those for pretty cheap. And 12-minute fears are also a really good ratio. Or as long as you're buying them for like under 10 silver each, they're worth it. They could be as low as 7 and as high as like 12. But anything under 10 is worth it to buy them from other players. As if you were to buy it from a shop, you already have to pay almost 8 silver to go buy 12 minutes of fear, but you have to drink it 4 times. So it's basically the benchmark that you're paying like 1 silver per fear minute. So anything that you can ever get for cheaper than that is good. It's just a lot of times when you drink a bigger fear potion, there's a lot of downtime where you're not using it. Same thing happens with a 3-minute fear as well. But if you're using a 12 or 15-minute fear, depending on what kind of activity you're using it on, you waste a lot of that time doing stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be active on it. Like, for example, when we were doing detective earlier with 12-minute fears. During that 12-minute duration, I would maybe use it like 3 times. Like 2 to 3 times. Which means technically it would have been cheaper to use multiple 3-minute fears. It would just take more stall time because you have to drink them all separately. I'm actually surprised they didn't raise the 3-minute fear price a little bit more. I still feel like it's slightly too cheap. I personally never used them, but I feel like they're too cheap. They're slightly less than 2 silver each. They should really be closer to at least 3 silver each. Like at least a silver a minute. I mean, that's what a lot of the other potions are scaled at, but for whatever reason the 3-minute fears aren't. Or because you have to keep chugging them. So they have a bit of a downside to them. But they still have the upside of being the cheapest ratio out of any of them right now. Unless you're forging everything yourself. In which case, 12-minute fears are still the best. Gathering and then making 12-minute fears is still the best ratio of fear in the game. Because the gather time on them is relatively quick. And the making time of them is better than the 15-minute ones. The best ratio of any of them. So generally if you need to stock up, it's going to be on 12 minutes, not on any other one. My biggest issue with that comes with a lot of those potions, though. Particularly the 12-minute fear, the 40% heal potion, and a few others like that. Is they are tied to a resource that is pre-200. Or like right at the bar. Yeah, I think they're all pre-200. Because everything that you need to go gather for fear. Not to make the fear potion itself, but everything for gathering for fear is pre-200. Even though the potion is post-200, barely. But the gathering itself is pre-200. And the same applies for the 40% heal potion. Both the two things that you need for Forager are pre-200. The kelp being like 161, the wall plant being whatever it is. Like 170 something or whatever it is. It's a big issue a lot of the second best potions have right now is that they're a pre-200 resource rather than a post-200 resource. So you gather way, way less of them naturally. We're also getting a really low XP rate when you're actually in the post-200 area. The only reason these 185 shells are pretty good is because they're, well, for one, they're right on top of a bank. But they're trowel boosted. There's a lot of things in Forager that are not boosted at all, but these are. So it makes their viability a lot longer. Whereas all the resources for making those better potions are not. 40% heals. The kelp has no boost. And the wall plant does have one, it's the secutors. But the kelp is way easier to bank. And when it comes to fear potion for 12 minute, neither of them have a boost. Both the dandelion and the glow plant have no EXP boost that can be done on them. You know, tool-wise. Obviously, you can still EXP pot them. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hate when I do that. I wonder how many resources I've ever despawned so far from accidentally doing that. Drop all instead of deposit all. Most of the time I notice, but I wonder how many times I haven't noticed. Because there's no way of really knowing. Because I can't know what I haven't noticed. But I think we put this next one on Forager as well. Just so we can do Chef a little bit more manually. Because I want to make it back in time before the contract. So now that I'm looking at the time, honestly, maybe I do throw together one on Chef. We should be able to make it in time. Like, how much more XP do we need? Like, 400k is not going to take that long. It is basically 4 more inventories. So yeah, we're going to put the other one into Chef then. Because we could definitely do 4 more inventories in half an hour. I think. We'll find out. We should be able to, though. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. So yeah, that one goes on Chef then. But yeah, after the stream, only 3 more to go then. For 210 all. Because obviously we're getting 210 Chef then. To some degree, I almost want to make that the goal tomorrow, but tomorrow's goal is probably going to be gather. Well, assuming we don't get an update. Of course, if we get an update, obviously we'll be focusing entirely on whatever the update is. But if we don't get an update again tomorrow, yeah, I think the goal is 224 gather. Just so I know how much towards 217 Chef I have banked. And how much I need to offset through other means. Alright, quarter of a level to go on both of them. Perfect. How much are we on bounties now? 286k. Yeah, bounties alone should pretty much cover it, since we're going to be 10% boosted. As long as our bounties aren't horrible. Because I believe we're at a double board claim. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to get there before the hour. Because I'm pretty sure I haven't claimed them this hour yet. Oh, so I can get rid of this other bounty. This was kind of just there. I grabbed it at the end in case I ever did want to go into it. If we really had to, we could easily abandon this. It doesn't matter that much. If we need a cooking slot for it. As I haven't had the need to do it yet, but if we do need to abandon it, it's perfectly fine too. It's not like it's started yet. If it was partially done, that'd be a different story. I just did that in case we needed to, if we wanted to go back into the loop of it, just so we don't have to go all the way back there for the first contract. It's not bad value to go delete it, though. As long as we're deleting it for a reason and not just deleting it to delete it. But a cooking contract would be a reason. Also, I tried getting a mining level yesterday. I kind of failed. I got half a level. I really need to be a lot better about it. I want to start getting like a mining level every day. And yesterday I got half a level. Good progress. Hey, more than 0. Obviously we're grinding other things too, but yeah, I never did get the full mining level. Got a lot of smithing levels though. The problem is I got into the loop of the AFK-ness of the smithing stuff, and then never ended up doing it. There's a Craddock was there earlier too. Craddock or whatever his name was. He's not on right now. But we're both grinding smithing a bunch last night. He's a hammer mage too, so I guess he was just doing it for the weapons or something. For those good old 4-star upgrades. But if we truly wanted to make it our goal tomorrow, if we don't want to go down the gather route, we'll see. We could try for 210 all tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's going to be gather route though, but we'll see. Because we'll be positioned pretty well to go get it. We would just have to do rack for 1 level for forager. Do what we did for woodcutting today for 1 level. So basically exactly what we just did for that. And then, the only problem with that is bone rate. We'd have to do a lot of bone rate. Even if I AFK'd it tonight, we'd still have to do like 2 hours of bone rate. Which isn't that bad. But we do have a limited supply of resources for bone rate. I gotta make sure I don't ever overly fill our bank. Like, I don't think we're getting close to that point yet, but we definitely need to make sure that doesn't happen. Like, I think the most I can comfortably put in there is 50 items, and I currently have about 12 in there. Anything above 50 starts getting into weird, sketchy territory. Where just, like, too much junk in there. But I need every single piece of junk that's in there. For eventual 4-star weapons. We gotta have some prep before special attacks come out. Like, I don't mind if we don't have literally every special attack weapon. But I definitely want to make sure we can make a special attack weapon for our next, like, 300 levels by the time it comes out. Like, even if we don't go, like, 400, 400, 400, 400. Bare minimum. I want to have a new special attack weapon every 20 levels for every level up to, like, 1,200. Already pre-banked before the update. At least 1,100. Ideally up to 1,200. For every 20 levels, we could just make a new spec weapon. While having almost all of it already banked. Except for the final component that we need to make the exact level range. Which means you can bank quite a bit of them. Because that means if you had 50, that's 25 upgrades then. Because the third component you would always have to make made to order. Because you need it to be a very specific number so it goes to the right number. So banking 53 stars would be 25 weapons then. Even though you need 3, but the third one is made at the time of when you need it. And you should be able to get one 3-star about every 20 minutes or so. Roughly, give or take a little bit, counting all the travel time and everything. On drop rates, about one every 20 minutes, it seems like. Roughly, give or take a little bit. Which isn't that bad. That means anytime we needed a weapon, we'd have to go spend like half an hour at most to go get one. Roughly. That's not too bad. Oh yeah, there's one other reason for doing bone right now too. I forgot about that. You always want stonemason or smithing to be your last step. The reason for that is where the new enchantress is. It is really, really close to the other 2 locations. I guess you could always just tell either regardless though, so it's not that big a deal. But it's slightly better if bone right is not your final option. As half of smithing and all of stonemason is right next to the enchantress, or the effusionist, whatever she's called these days. Teleport's not that bad, though, if you did have to tele. Actually, maybe teleing is still better, actually, overall. I don't know, what's quicker? Walking from here to there, or teleporting to there and walking there? Or walking from here to there, or teleporting there to there? I'm pretty sure walking is still quicker. Whereas for bone right, you would always have to tele. I don't know, I guess it's not that bad. But I'm pretty sure walking is still quicker than having to tele there. So if you can help to try to make your bone right option not be the last one, it is still slightly helpful. Worst comes to worst, the other 2 can one-click, whereas you have to menu for the other one and click on a billion menus before you can teleport. Whereas the other 2, you just one-click the circle and you're already in there. It's not that big a deal, but it does help. Like, if you truly had to make bone right your last option, it's not that big a deal. But if you can help it, it is better to make anything but bone right be your last one you have to make. So having a bunch of them pre-made is actually pretty good. Which, hey, even more of a reason to go get 210, 210. Do we actually do that tomorrow? We might. I know, we'll see. But yeah, let's say hypothetically we did 210 everything tomorrow. That's about an hour and a half of woodcutting, an hour and a half of collecting rack, and probably about 2 hours of bone rate. That's not awful. That should be pretty doable. And then we gotta work to 220! Actually, what are we missing from 220 that aren't those 3 skills that are below 210? Gatherer, which we need to get to 224 in one go whenever we do that. I'm just gonna do it all to 224 whenever we do. I'm not gonna do partial. If we're going back to doing Gather, we're going all the way to 224 when we do it. What else is below 220 that isn't what we already mentioned? Those 3. Just, yeah, that's it. I guess Leatherworker, but I'm gonna have that when we do Xenoblade Chronicles X. This could be like 240. This says 215, but I assure you it's a higher level than that. It's basically already overflowing 240. I'm not even sure what we're going to be doing after. I might have to go out of my way and tangent into Chef. One of the reasons I kind of want to do the Gatherer grind tomorrow is there is a chance I run out of EXP for Leatherworker. I'm not even concerned at this point that I'm going to run out of money or anything else. I think I'm going to run out of EXP. And what I mean by that is we're going to reach level 240, but still need to keep doing it. And I don't have the merchant level for it. So I'm going to hit an EXP wall where we can't do Leatherworker anymore. Because let's say hypothetically Xenoblade Chronicles X takes, I don't know, 80 hours. If we did 80 hours of Leatherworker, that is level like 250 or 260. When the highest we can go is 240. So yeah, I think we do have to tangent the Gatherer then. Just so we have Chef as backup. And start trying to push chef to 217. Just so we have a backup for when we inevitably hit max leatherworker. Or, you know, capped out based on our current merchant level. Because the other alternative is to go grind merchant to, which is not happening, by the way. But the other alternative is to go grind merchant to 269. Which means in one day I would have to do 27 levels of merchant. Which I'm pretty sure is impossible. It would definitely burn out before that would happen. Even though you can get slightly more than 1 hour level per hour by doing merchant only. There's no way we would stay that efficient for 24 hours straight. That is not happening. At least not in no time soon. Obviously, it will happen eventually. It's not all in one day. Honestly, probably not even in 2 days. There'd be like a 3-day spread grind. Not to mention, I kind of want to get a lot of it while we do investigations. I really enjoy doing investigation plus merchant. I enjoy it way more than merchant only. The only problem with it is it gives mostly just detective XP. But it still pokes your merchant up for pretty much 0 time. It's not actually 0 time merchant. But the time that you do merchant during it is quicker than normal merchant. Because you're already like 80% of the way to an objective. While already doing something else at like full XP rate. Oh, is this the last Forger? Wait, are we at the last Forger run? It is. Nice, we're done. We get the racks. It's be rack time. Should we go get one inventory of rack for good luck? I'll go get one set of racks. Gotta go grab my potions first, though. So I don't despawn. There we go, 209. We now have maxed the Forger skill. Thank you, everyone in this room, for coming to our max party, as well as everyone watching the stream. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Forger is now max level. 209. The only thing that matters in all Forger. Or at least the last one that really matters. Alright, let's go get some of them. The only problem is doing rack only is awful. But it's not going to stop me from doing it for one inventory. It's awful, but it's not going to stop me. I'm going to pre-pot here just so I can put them in the bank. Let's see how bad rack only is. You should probably never do this. I just want to get one inventory and then tell you. We won't have to do the normal banking route, though obviously the normal banking route is going to the rift we were just at. However, I'm just going to tell you to Hopeport, grab the potions we need and go do our chef bounties then. And start just training up chef. Alright, so you get 3 racks over here. How much XP are they? 5.5. That is not a lot. That is actually surprisingly average. But it's because they have no tool upgrade. Like, it's not awful, but it's not amazing. Now the question is, do we grab all the 0 tiles on the way there? Is that one 0 tile? This one's 0 tile. Or at least walking into this. Wow, these things are so far away from each other. Why would you do such a thing? I forgot how bad these are distance-wise from each other. This is why you normally just do COD rack. Well, if nothing else, at least they're going to be respawned by the time we get there. Gosh. They are so far away that they should be respawned by the time we get there. That is so bad. Good thing we're only doing this for one inventory. This is why we're doing COD rack later. This room for rack is so horrifically bad unless you're doing the Gennards with it. But we can't do that until level 261 Fisher. So we get to do COD rack way earlier than Gennard rack. COD rack's also closer to the bank. But hello, Huckleberry Doo! Welcome, welcome. We're doing pretty good. We're currently getting 1 level in every skill below 210. The only one we have left is Chef to 210. And then tomorrow we're either going to 210 everything or go and do all the gather grinds so that we know how much chef XP we have banked. So I haven't decided which one. Oh, or we're going over the update tomorrow. As if there's going to be an update tomorrow. You know, hypothetically if there was. But we're doing 1 to 3 tomorrow. Either the update if there's an update, obviously. Or 210 all or gather to 224. They're all really up on high on the list. Obviously a new update would take priority. That assumes they're actually going to do one, though. That's a really bold assumption. To assume they will actually do an update to the game. Oh, free chest loot. Oh, a chunky monument piece. I think I already finished that piece, though. We got our chunky piece. But yeah, rack only... Don't ever do this. Don't ever do rack only. We're already committed to the 1 inventory, so we got to finish it. But yeah, this is why we got to do Gennard rack, or more importantly, Cod rack. Because, wow, this is awful. I'm pretty sure what we were just doing is better than rack only. It is so bad. Everyone's banking on 1 tomorrow? Nice. Would love to see it. First new quest ever in the game. 10th quest, not counting main storyline. Trying to think, what were the first 10 quests in old school RuneScape or in RuneScape? Actually, we can kind of check that, couldn't we? Because we could check the little tab thingy. Let me go double check. What were the first 10 quests? Let me go order it based on release date. How do I do that again? 1 second. I want to see. I know what a couple of them were. I want to see if any of them were kind of cool. I'm pretty sure they were still doing some pretty basic ones back then. How do I change this? Where's my settings menu? 1 moment. Technical difficulties. See if I can find this. Quests. Order based on release date. Alright, there we go. Alright, which one of these were interesting? If any. I'm gonna go bring it up so you guys can see it. That might help. Alright, so here's the list. Cook's Assistant, classic, but nothing really going on. Demon Slayer had a bit going on. You got a weapon, but it was pretty irrelevant. What other ones were there? We got Restless Ghost. Good for a little bit of early game quest XP. Nothing really happened much in the quest, though. Romeo and Juliet, pretty much a nothing quest. Sheep Shearer, nothing quest. Shield of Era, set up a lot of lore. But the quest itself was pretty annoying. You need a partner for it. Also, why isn't the rack now? Oh, it has respawned. I was gonna say, why isn't it respawned? Never mind. I was looking at the wrong tile. Ernest the Chicken, pretty basic, though. It was a cool escape room quest. Vampire Slayer, pretty basic. Imp Catcher, absurdly basic. Prince Ali Rescue, had a bit going on. I hate it, though. Doric's quest, absurdly basic. You just bring some stuff to him. Black Knight Fortress had a bit more going on, which is potion. You just got a bunch of ingredients for a thing. Knight's Sword had a little bit more going on. Goblin Diplomacy was humorous, but wasn't really much of a quest. Pirate's Treasure, pretty basic as well. Oh, Dragon Slayer 1 made it on year 1? Really? Ooh. That's a pretty iconic one. That was a big one. That was like the first really good one, I guess, then. They did Dragon Slayer 1. How many quests did that take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Did I count that right? It's either 16 or 17. Is how many it took them last time before they made a really good quest. It took them 17 tries. The first time around. We're currently at our 10th for Brighter Shores. Or soon to be, whatever the next one is. Alright, let's go do Chef now until we get a level. But yeah, as far as rack only, don't ever do it, ever, under any circumstance. You definitely got to do either Gennard rack or ideally Cod rack because it's closer to bank doing Cod rack. You should never, ever do rack only. That is so bad. I can go like make and eat dinner in the time it'll take to do like 1 inventory of Cod rack. I mean, of just rack, I mean. Like rack only. It is so bad. You definitely got a multi-skill it was fishing. Anyways, what do we come here for? I'm running low on EXP pots. That should be enough, though. We don't need that many. Alright, let's go do our chef bounties. And then we'll cover the rest with leek pie. Alright, what are we doing? Just buying some stock, I guess. Just any item to fill up the bank. Alright, what do we have here? Show me the good tasks. It really wants me to go to South Wall. It really wants me to go to South Wall. Wow, does it want me to go to South Wall? I don't think I've ever seen this much South Wall. I have a 4 South Wall task. Wow, also I'm 1 COD short. What do I do about that? Am I about to walk all the way over there for 1 COD? Because I believe the answer is yes. How many potato thingies do I have left? Not that many. Yeah, I think I'm going to walk there for 1 COD. Because of course we are. Alright, let's go on our adventure for 1. Then I really need to stop taking these tasks ever. The main reason I want to do this is if we spam a lot of leek pies in the near future, I want to be able to have all the CODs out of my bank so that we can get to the leek quicker. This is the reason I want to do only 1, so we have 0 in the bank. It allows us to make leek pies quicker. Alright, I just need 1 singular COD. Thank you. Highway robbery. 10 silver and a mile walk for 1 COD. It saves us time in the long run, though. Alright, we grab all this. Get our stock. Alright, when do we have to do our daily? 13 minutes from now. Yeah, that's right around the corner then. Alright, what do we need? We need all of these. Grab 3 potato. Where's my 3 potato? 3 potato. Gosh, we got so few of those potatoes. What else do we need? Okay, everything else is kind of weird, so let me grab the potion for now, I guess. How are we gonna do this? So I need to make everything, right? Do we have enough inventory for that? Because that's important. Because I don't think we do. Oh no, I just realized. Where are we putting all the inventory for this? How do we do this? I guess one of them I'll have to do later. Which one of these is the most annoying? Probably the lobster. Oh no, which one do we cancel? Well, not cancel necessarily, but we have to choose to not do one of these. Because what do we have here? 17, 22, 23. Oh, don't make me have to not do cod and chips. No, I'm just going to not do the lobster. I think is the solution here. Alright, let's go make everything else we need then. Alright, so we'll do all these. Wait, what am I missing? Oh. I grabbed a leek twice. I see a problem here. I see what happened. Oh, whoops. I was like, I definitely grabbed all the ingredients. Double the leek. Alright, so we'll do all of them except the crab then. We'll save that for later. If we even do it at all. We'll probably still do it, though. We just need synergy with it. I'm not going there just to turn that in. But if there's multiple reasons to, I will. I just don't have enough inventory space to go do it. Alright, now we need 2 more. And then we should just be able to grab everything from the bank then. Because everything else just takes up 1 inventory. They're all 1-to-1. Because what's left? All I need is the 5 mana ray then. And that should be everything. Alright, is that everything? Should be. Well, other than lobster. Let's see, 5, check. Doing it right now. 10 of these, check. We're about to do them. COD, check. We already have them. We cleared out the bank to be able to do them. All right, we're good to go. And then we chuck a 10% pot, go into all that, throw it into... Chef? What do we throw it into here, actually? Oh, I just realized I could save the 10... Oh, no, it's not going to line up. I was going to say, I guess throw it into this on our run. It's not going to line up perfectly, though, unfortunately. If only this was 10 minutes earlier. If this said, like, 9 minutes... Or if this said only, like, 2 minutes remaining, that'd be so perfect for our cycle. If it said, like, 2 minutes remaining or less. But the fact that it's 10 minutes is slightly too long. That would have been perfect. And just do one big sweep with the 10%. Because it's actually on the path of what we have to go do. Because I can go to the daily, then go to Southwall, and then turn it all in one go. Oh, so we do get new contracts in 7 minutes, so I guess we could route one more route then. So it comes down to what are we putting this XP on? And I guess the answer is just Chef now. Chef until it's 217. It's going to be a little bit awkward for the first one, though, because does that get to a level or not? Let me see. Yes, it kind of does. I just have to make sure I turn in all 3 items first. Or all 2 items, actually, because I'm not doing the other one. Or sorry, 3. Yeah, I was right the first time. Because what are we turning in right now? I'm turning in Ray. I'm turning in, yeah, I'm turning in one of everything. Just click the sandwich first and don't click it again. As long as they just don't double click the sandwich. So a quick sandwich once. Do it first so we don't double click it. Now just don't click the sandwich and we should be good. I did it! No! I literally just said it! How could you do such a thing? And then we turn this into the corporal guy. How close are we to a level? That's not enough. Okay, we have to dump it now then. Convert that into chef. Boom. There it is, 210! A level on every skill pre-210 has been achieved. Who am I turning in? This is Barrack. Right over here. Oh, so if this doesn't give me meter, I need to go find a way to go get meter ever so quickly. I'm gonna make like 1 potion. No way! Alright, quick. Make the, make one of the 10% we just got earlier. No. Make it like 2 8% or something. Go, 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 quick, something. Go, 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 go. Speedrun and making a potion. Go, 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 go. I don't care which. Just make a potion that you can make. Go, 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 go. Go, go. Yeah, these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure, whatever. Yeah, 4 of these. Boom. Use the shells we got earlier. Go, 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 go. Oh, we should make it in time, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Watch, we're gonna go there with like 99.9% meter. And the animation will take so long that it won't be enough. Come on. Come on. Come on, we might still have to do 1 potion. Hopefully the animation doesn't stall us too long. Oh, come on! Come on, 1 potion. Go, 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 go! Make potion quicker! Go, 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 go! Alright, we got it, we got it! Go, 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 go! Got it. Alright, make the other 2 over here. What was that? Oh, we got it, though. Barely. Anyways, what were we doing? At this point, I guess we're just waiting for our next chef bounty and then using a 10% for the other thing. So I'll buy some cooking supplies then. Maybe bring like 10% with me. So we can get it all done in once. 1 singular 10%, please, because I need it for the daily. We'll drop it on the ground for now. For now, I guess we'll go make the lobster and maybe like 1 whole inventory of leek pie. And whatever leek pies we don't need, we just sell then. What am I doing right now? Oh, yeah, just buying some random junk. There we go. And at this point, we're pretty much just waiting for the bounties and 5 minutes to go by. Technically 6. I forgot they weren't exactly the same time. Oh no, they were pretty much the same time. So that should be enough time to go do all the lobsters we need in the other set. Luckily, it's 8, so we have the exact amount to go do it. You grab 8 of these. For whatever reason, it's not the autofill, unfortunately. Nope, wrong thing. Where's the other thing? There it is, butter. 8 of these. Nope, not that. 8 of these. Put all this together. Grab 8 lobster. And then I'll go do a whole set of leek pie. So regardless how many ask from us, we should be able to do it. Unless they somehow ask for more than 24. Which has happened before, by the way. Like if you get like a 10, a 9, and an 8 or something. Or a double 10 into a 6 or a 5. It's very rare, but sometimes they ask for more than 24 of an item. Very rare does that ever happen, though. Alright, now we need the lobster. Which we definitely overbought lobster a little bit, but that's fine. I didn't overbuy too much. Because by level 217, we never need to do this lobster again. Which means I bought about, like, 200 to 220 too many lobsters. That's fine. They're only, like, 2 silver each, so they're pretty cheap. Which are actually really close to their sell price, surprisingly. I'm not sure if they got price hiked with the changes, though. But I bought these things for, like, 2.6 each, I believe, before the update. Not sure what they are now, but I don't think they're that much higher. I don't think they're over 3. They might have gone a little bit higher, but we're talking like 100 copper or something if they did. Like something like trivially small. Also, oddly enough, these do give more XP each than a leek pie. The only reason why a leek pie is quicker is because it's way less steps. It's both less steps and less ingredients. But this is actually technically more XP per item, oddly enough. It's just worse XP per hour because of how many more steps it has. And how many more ingredients you have to go back and forth on. But it's worth it when you get a contract for them, though. It's just not worth doing them for anything but a contract. Alright, let's go do 888 for leek pie, then. And this is why we got rid of the cod, by the way. This is what I was talking about earlier, so we can just grab all of them really quickly. And just go boom, boom, boom. Oh, I forgot to grab a 5% potion for this. Oh, no. Well, at this point, it's not worth going back. Also, at this point, I might as well just check the contract to see what we have. Yeah, there's a lot of things we got to route in the next 10%. Most notably the 2 ventures, which is what we're trying to route mostly. But also as many cooking ventures as we can get to, or bounties, I mean. What do we have? Not worth it. Not worth, not worth. This one is, kind of. I can grab it on our way back. Oh no, this one's not awful because we need to go there anyways. No leek pie though, so I guess we just sell these. Not a single leek pie task. Unfortunate. Alright, I need to make 4 more lobster then, and 5 of the oyster, that's fine. These 2 aren't that good of value, but they turn in for pretty good value if nothing else. Like the profit margin on them is really good. The XP for them is not that good, but they're both at the same location that we have to go by anyways when we go grab our potions, so I guess it's fine. So what will basically happen is I use a... how does this go? I think I drop my 8 lobster over there. Wait, how would this go? I'm just now thinking about it. I can drop all my food next to where the teleporter is, I think. Is what ends up happening here. Okay, I got a plan, Is I'll drop it before I use the potion. Okay, I see the motion. It's gonna require a little bit of setup, but we'll get there. Alright, 6 of those, 6 of these. 6 of, the... Technically 4. Grab that for lobster as well. And then the only other thing we need is 5 and 5 for the other thing, but we'll wait till we combine everything before we do that because we don't have enough inventory space. Yeah, there's gonna be a really clunky run, but it should work in the end. I got a plan. Is I'm gonna do it in a way where I can immediately just store all the oyster, but then grab the food immediately so we can get back in time and then teleport back, and then boom, we're done. And I can go to the AFK method and get our potions ready for when we move on to whatever next activity we're doing off stream. Alright, which I'm not sure what I am grinding off stream today. We'll find something. Honestly, I almost want to start on that gatherer grind we were talking about. The only problem is it's not particularly AFK at all. It is extremely non-AFK. Unless I just click everything in one room over and over again. Which is not awful, but it's halving how much gather XP we get per hour if we do. Like, we're getting literally half the rate. We're replacing it with some woodcutting XP, but we're getting half as much gatherer during it. Join you at the 224 gatherer grind? Well, I was planning on doing it tomorrow. If I do it some today, it's going to be pretty AFK-like. I'm just trying to think of what I still have left that's like really AFK that isn't an AFK grind I want to save for Xenoblade Chronicles X when it comes out. Up, the Venture's ready. It's calling for us. It's ready. Don't worry, I'll be there in a moment. Just cooking the last few dishes. We're coming for you. Just give us a second. Stop blinking. I know we're coming. We're coming. Alright, let's go do this run. And we'll end it here then. But every goal we wanted to do, we got done today. Even got an extra foraging level than expected. Just because we couldn't stop. We had to go to 209. Unfortunately, I can't really do forager properly until we get 235 Fisher. But hey, that's what this venture is for. In about 2 more weeks from now, we'll have 235 Fisher without ever fishing a single thing other than the venture. Like, just off the venture alone, we'll have it. We don't need to catch a single actual fish beyond it. Ah, no, I should have diagonaled. Now, what I'm going to do is drop all my food right here. Right here on this tile. That way I can go grab the 24 oyster without needing to do some kind of weird juggle. No, we didn't get it. Come on. Gosh, that's hard to skip because this alleyway's only a 2x2. It's really awkward to try to skip them. Alright, we're on a time limit now. Go, go, go. Also, look at that XP to shoot up. Wow, that is so nice. Wish we had these earlier. These are so good. Fisher is so free. If only the skill actually did something. Up wrong alleyway. I do that every time. I go for the first alleyway rather than the correct alleyway. Oh, come on. We should still make it in time. Even if I get caught by a goblin, I think we're fine. Because I only have to turn in, what? 1 item to south wall, and then double to a captain. As long as I don't accidentally go north, which I definitely did this morning. I went north for south wall. But we're definitely going south for south wall this time. So we should be fine. Oh, the biggest concern at this point is, do we make it back to captain in time? Yeah, this could be a little close. She's luckily like right on top of the teleporter, but it's still gonna take more than 0 seconds to get there. Yeah, I don't think we make it. It's not too big a deal because she gives a lot less, but still. Yeah, I don't think we make it in time. At best, we could turn in 1. There's no way we turn in both. Which one's worth more? Lobster. Nice, we got it. Unfortunately, the other one's not going to make it. If we didn't get in combat one of those times, we would have made it, but that's fine. Oh, come on, OBS. It just canceled right when we did the thing. Come back. Come back. We're ending the stream like in a minute. You don't have to try disconnecting now. Anyways, guys. Yeah, I think we're ending it there for now. Is stream working again now? There it goes. But yeah, we'll be ending it here for now. What is my goal for after stream? I have no clue. But tomorrow's goal is some combination of 224 Gatherer and probably finishing 210 everything. And I'll probably be throwing a lot of Bone Right AFK tonight. Though whenever I do it throughout the day, I'll be doing Alchemy like I'm doing it right now. Which means, what is my next grind then? Am I actually just going to be dumping XP into there? Because I think the answer is yes. I just really don't want to have to juggle potions and everything while doing it. But yeah, we'll do the Gatherer grind. We're caving in and doing it later. You just juggle the one potion. But anyways, guys, we're calling it for now. We will be back tomorrow, same time as always, noon Eastern Standard Time. Fingers crossed, update day, maybe, possibly, who knows. But if we do get an update, the next update should be new quests, which is going to be huge if so. Supposedly this has the best reward of any quest in the game, so fingers crossed soon, hopefully. We know that Samuel's quest is in Hopeport. We don't know anything else. Yeah, we know that one of the 2 quests is in Hopeport. We know that a quest at some point will have a equipable potion. And we know that the next quest coming up has the best reward out of any quest that has ever existed. Supposedly. But that somehow means it's better than Storage Rift and the ability to craft 4-star gear. So I highly doubt it's better than that, but it's probably pretty good. Because how good does it have to be better than both of those? It basically has to be Storage Rift from anywhere or the ability to make 5-star gear if you were to 1-to-1 make them better. Obviously, it could be side better in a way, where it's like, you know, equipable potion could be in that angle, where it's technically better, but not necessarily better than those other 2 things. Because to be definitively better than those 2 things, it has to be Storage Rift from anywheres or 5-star equipment, neither of which are likely going to be the case. I highly doubt it. But equipable potion, definitely pretty high up there. A new venture slot, pretty high up there. Bricks and tiles, probably not from the first quest, but the second quest. Obviously, the Hopeport one wouldn't do that. But if they were to add a new one to Chapter 4, unlocking brick and tile is very, very likely from it. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, hopefully new quest tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, our goal is probably 210 all. We'll also probably do a little bit of gather, whatever spare time we have. That's going to be the game plan then. Anyways, guys, hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.